Yeah, man. Whew. Welcome to Act 2, Scene 1. That's code for 51 in my world, y'all. Amen. Thank you so much, Father God, for life. Woo! All right, y'all ready, huh? Hi, everybody. Hi. It's so funny. You should have seen me trying to get my little area together. It was almost like mom was coming over, and you know when your mama getting ready to come over, you keep checking to make sure everything is all right. Everything is this is this and this is that. So, like I was gonna be down on the dock, and then I was like, oh no, the wind, and I was like, there's no wind, and then I was like, no, let's move here, and then the lighting, and I mean just. It was really funny. So, hi, everybody. Thank you. Wow. Hey, Angela White. Thank you, Madam Producer of A Question of Faith. She cast me in one of my favorite roles. So, hi, guys. Everybody, you're so excited. I told Mommy that you guys are so excited about seeing her and her being here. So, amen and amen. Okay, somebody's saying that they can't hear me. Is that an issue? Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Hi, Zevin's mom. Happy Mother's Day to you, sister. Thumbs up. Okay, so the person that said that you can't hear me, maybe turn up your volume. Okay. And we are going to get, and Tandria says she can hear me, and that's all that matters. Thank you. All right, so our guest, thanks, Muff. Thank you. All right, we're going to let Alexis out of timeout just for a minute so she can join us for this most special occasion. So mom is coming on. And I mean, just strap in, y'all, and take notes. That's how it is. That's how it is. She's not even dropping gems. Gems just kind of fall out. And then we also have standing by Aunt Pat. Yes, the infamous, the one, the only. Aunt Pat is going to be chiming in as well on this very special actual birthday edition. Again, you guys, thank you so much for all of the birthday countdown love. The birthday vibes countdown was mind-blowing. I just wow. And yes, we are looking at how to, what we're going to do with all of those conversations. But the goal was met from the standpoint of you guys getting the gifts that have been a part of my life and my village and my journey for decades. So thank you so much for all of that. Allison, I just saw you. Can you send me the list, the birthday, my favorite things, and tell me how many we have? I thought we had 10, but someone said we had 11. So can somebody send the list, please, of my birthday favorite things? Couple of quick items. So again, all of this has always been sponsored by my coffee line and my team behind the coffee line, SignatureBlendsByKF. Thank you. I see all of your birthday love, and thank you so much, everybody from around the world. Thank you. And I will go back and look at them all again and say thank you. Please let me know also where you are sending your birthday love from. So, my coffee line, Signature Blends by KF. Thank you, team, for being able to. I see it. Thank you. How many is that on the birthday? My favorite things, please. So, Signature Blends by KF sponsors each of the Birthday Vibes conversation countdowns. They're sponsoring this glorious chat that we are about to have. And we're going to bring her in real quick. I just got a couple of housekeeping items, if you will, and just a couple of birthday items. This coffee mug. Those are some little lip gloss. That's all I got on because I know anything else is just going to probably get cried off. I love St. Lucia. You know I do. Hi, Cbelle. I spent years at St. Lucia Jazz during this time, my birthday. So, see, Alexis is cutting up already. She kept talking about sending love from my birthday bed. Sending birthday love from my bed. But anyway, this cup, it's funny. I actually had a different cup I was going to use. And then I swear, y'all, it's like the house just swallowed it up. I cannot find it anywhere. And I looked. We all looked, and I couldn't find it. And so when I washed this one out, and I looked at it, and I realized it was blank. And I realized that today, I want to present myself to the Spirit as a blank canvas. And that can be difficult to do when you reach either certain ages or certain levels of experience in certain places in your life. And I thought to myself, Lord, I want to be a blank canvas and just create on me whatever is the next act, whatever is the next set of scenes. So this just reminded me of be a blank canvas. Just be a blank canvas and be open to whatever that means. It may take you outside of your comfort zone. It may be some stuff that you were like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that is, and that's okay. Something came on my spirit the other night, last night I think it was. We were playing a game as a family, and as we were talking and then getting to put the kids down and stuff, and what came on me was, before you can practice, you have to try. You have to try first, and then practice, and then comes the confidence. But you have to try first, and that connects to me with this right now, this blank canvas, trying new things, being adventurous, being an explorer of different things. That don't mean be reckless. It may be something small, it may be something big, it may be something in your personal life, your professional life, your spiritual life, whatever it is. So that's what was on me this morning. And a little bit last night as well. That said, yes, someone said curious. Yes, stay curious. We're going to put that on a mug. Stay curious. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So all of that to say, we've got some exciting things that I'm really, really proud to be giving birth to during this day and the rest of the week. A couple of other platforms, a couple of other brands and bits of content in different forms and things. So it's just a really exciting time for me, and I'm thrilled to be able to share it with you. Okay, that's all. Let's go get her. Want to go get her? You want to go get her? Come on, let's go get her. Ooh, let's see. And then, yes, I know you guys have questions from Mom, so we will take some questions as well. All right, let's go get her. Here she comes. Her first time ever. Are you there? You were horrible for that.
Hey, baby. Happy birthday. Couldn't resist. Too many
You
friends.
couldn't resist. Oh my gosh, Mom, that's hysterical.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, everybody on the East Coast. How y'all doing?
They said they are dead playing around with you right now with that. Oh my goodness. But my friend Benita in Lion King said, no, she didn't.
I have my coffee cup. You know where I got this from?
Do tell.
Okay, this is my coffee cup. It's a gift from Cindy Braggs Heron from In Vogue. because
Oh.
yeah, when we do the passion play at Shepherd, she's always in the production, and so she gave me this as a thank you gift at the end of the production. So it's my favorite mug. So I put it. Mine is not a blank canvas. I got way too many years to have a blank canvas. Okay,
that's not true at all. You just completely dispelled what I just said.
How you
what kind of support are you giving, lady?
Happy birthday. I have something for you for your birthday. Please hold.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. Me and your million-some viewers would like to sing this song for you.
Okay.
Not happy birthday.
Okay.
But this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. Come on now. I will rejoice. Come on. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Come on, Kimmy.
I will rejoice and be glad in it.
Cut. Are we on a delay? Because you were saying, this is why I'm not on social media. Don't know nothing about social media. But I do know this. All those fans who have loved on you, watched over you, and prayed for you. Don't get me started. Thank you, guys.
It's too early for that.
Okay. Trying to suck it up. All right. But thank you for all the people who have been part of that village that have helped me raise this girl right here. Thank you, Pepperdine. Thank you, Pepperdine.
I'm sure they say thank you. All right. So let's dive right in, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Hey, Jamel, I see you, brother. And again, Benita's on. Lots of my friends. Did you hear? Say it again, Mom.
Hey, Benita.
Okay, so first of all, you look amazing.
Well, God bless you. You know, I only been up since 5, getting this together. You know, I hate when you don't have to wear a stitch of makeup. Girl, I had to put on eyes, I had to hide gray. You know, it is a pandemic. Can't go no. I started to wear my baseball cap. My spirit said, 2 women with baseball caps, no, you let Kim be cute in hers. Find you some hair. So there you
go. Okay, so take us back to the day I was born. Today, 51 years ago today.
Oh,
and and honestly, teenage Chip had me.
Well, teenage Chip was thinking that the world had come to an end because getting pregnant when you're in your 12th grade after being, you know, a real great student in school. I went to Performing Arts High School, and a lot of you know all these same stories, but I guess if I say it the same way, you'll know we ain't making this story up. It's true. I went to Performing Arts, and in my 12th grade, I got pregnant with Kim, and I thought, oh my gosh, what now? What happens now?
Yeah.
And, I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some things you have to just go through, which is having the birth moment has to happen. You
right.
don't have control over that. But I was seriously dealing with where do I go now? What do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
You think that, well, God, why did you let this happen? And then you find out years later, you're why. You had to happen because there was timing involved. That's why we have to wait on God and be of good courage, because he has a plan for us and we don't know the plan, and he's working it out. And we keep unwinding it, messing it up. And so going to the hospital, I had all kinds of thoughts because it was Mother's Day. That your birthday fell on Mother's Day, May 12th, the year that you were born in 1969. And when I got to the hospital, I just remember thinking, what is this pain? Oh my God. And when I see Eve, I'm going to give her a serious knockdown. That was, yeah. And I had some nurses who were serious about me not making a lot of screaming noise. That was funny. They were like, come on, girl, suck it up. And I was like, oh my God, it's coming, it's coming. And I just remember there was an old show. Only you people who are old as me are going to remember this show. It's called Dr. Kildare. And he came through with this gurney and it busted through the two doors like that. That's how I describe having a natural childbirth. And say about that. But then the beautiful child comes out, and you know, one of the things I always talk about is I always tell celebrities to be careful, especially celebrities that I used to coach in the business. I always used to say, well, I'm gonna read what I printed it because I didn't want to be wrong. You don't want to be wrong when you quote scripture. It's in Deuteronomy 8:17 through 18. It says, "You might say in your heart, the power and strength of my hands have made this wealth for me." Then 18 says, "But remember that it is the Lord your God who gives you the power to gain wealth." And I always would say that because that incredible day, I could not have fathomed that that little baby I was holding in Harlem was going to turn into this little baby sitting at a lakeside home with a dock and a lake. And we didn't know where God was going to take us. And so I have learned to trust another scripture, and you knew I was going to bring some, right? Another scripture.
Your daughter just said, "Uh-oh," she put on her scripture glasses.
Alexis, sit down. Sit down, Alexis. Be still and know. People say, I got to just say something before this becomes a meme or something. I did not burn my children. I was paid by Norman Lear to burn Penny in Good Times. That was an unreal show about unreal people, but it was an important part of the career jump. And I'll get back to that. But one of the things that Henry David Thoreau said, I'm not going to do a scripture, Lex. Henry David Thoreau said, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined." I didn't know no Henry David Thoreau when I was coming up in Harlem. I knew like Pookie and Junebug, but a famous writer, poet like Henry David Thoreau, I learned that years later. But when he said, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you've imagined," I never realized, thank you, Pat, you're supposed to go through there. Pat's trying to make an appearance before her time. That was that orange sweater going by. That was my sister. Okay,
too early.
Yeah, too early. But one of the things I love about that piece is that we did that and didn't even know we were doing it because we were doing the gospel version of that. We were speaking those things that are not as though they were.
As though they were.
Yeah, we were walking. Having you in 1969, that was an interesting era. A lot of ERA stuff went on in the 70s. I wasn't even aware of all the stuff that was going on, just trying to be a mom and figure that out, and then find a way to get back into a school just so I could get my GED, then going to a place to try to get a job to take care of you. And you were the best little girl ever. You never needed a spanking. People say that you need to discipline, train up a child in the way he should go, and do not spare the rod. You spoil the child. Honest to goodness, you guys, Alexis may have gotten some spankings, but Kimmy, you didn't.
You know she's about to say something.
I'm about to hear something. Right.
Let's just wait on Alexis's comment, shall we? We're just gonna wait.
She's gonna let us wait and look silly. I know her. So anyway,
she would do that too.
Yes, she would. I wonder how long they can hold them dumb poses. Okay. But back to having you.
Yes.
Having you was an experience because I sent you to school one morning. I guess you were like 7 or 6. And I sent you walking down the street in Harlem to go to school, public school, y'all.
5 or 6.
5 or 6. I had no money. And I sat in the house when you left to go to school, and I thought, Lord, what is to become of us? And all through that time, I kept thinking, there must be some way to make my life work. And it was then it was a snowy night. I don't know the order of when that happened, but it was maybe a year or so later. It was a snowy night. It was 2 days before Christmas. I was struggling with belief. I was struggling with, where are you, Lord? And now I understand why Jesus would go in the wilderness to pray. So I went out in a snowstorm in Harlem. And when you're poor, you don't have the right boots, you don't have the right coat, hat, and gloves. I just went walking. And the only place I knew to walk was to my sister Pat's house. And that was about, I guess in terms we understand, it was probably a 5-mile walk to get from my house in Harlem to where she lived.
Yeah.
And in that cold, it was probably from 2 o'clock in the morning, probably till about 4 o'clock in the morning that I'm walking. And by the time I got to Pat's house in this heavy snowstorm, I couldn't go, I didn't want to ring her bell. So I went in the park and the sound really heavy came at me. And I sat on a swing in the park and just sat there and just looked up into and I didn't know what it was like to just pull out everything in you and call on the Lord until that moment. And a peace, all understanding came on me. I got up from that swing, went to my sister's house. That's why you're going to hear from my sister a little bit later, because she was that person that was there for me. And I left you with my mother. Because I didn't know what that walk was going to be. But in that wilderness of that snow, some clarity came the next morning. And from that point on, God's plan was allowed to work. My plans were getting in the way, but God's plans were allowed to go forth. And I went back and I finished working at that job. I was getting $100 a week on the subway, trying to get way downtown in New York. And then I told my boss, I said, there's got to be something more for me. I was such a good student at performing arts. There has to be something more for me and more for this little baby I got to raise. And so the very next day, something told me to call an old friend from performing arts, Lola. I called Lola and I said, I got to do something. What can I do? And she said, well, I know there's an acting ensemble. Why don't you call and see if you can get in there? That was the turning point of my life.
Really?
I joined Alpha Theatrical Ensemble. And from that point on, my life started changing. I started getting calls at the office there for actors. And then I started getting jobs. Then they'd call and I'd answer the phone and they'd say, we'd like a Chip Fields type, bouncy, perky. And I said, well, this is Chip Fields. Do you want me? And so it became like the beginning of all of the life happening. And you then, now let's get to the birthday girl. You just came home from school that day that I was saying I had this day I'd gone through. You came home from school, and by the time you came home from school at 3 o'clock, I had gotten two one-way tickets, to LA, because I had done some work in the business, and it had one of the shows, Hello Dolly, had brought me to LA, and I thought, this is a place that seems to appreciate my artistry. I want to go back. And so you came home and I said, okay, Kim, I've packed everything we can pack. We're going. A friend of mine lent me the money, got me the ticket, Jay Geller. Thank you, Jay, wherever you are. And he was one of our crew members on Hello Dolly. Lent me the money. Yep, he lent us the money and we got the ticket and we got on that plane, didn't know what we were going to do, got to LA, and who would pick us up?
Uncle Larry?
Yep, Laurence Hilton Jacobs,
Yes.
who also was a member of Alpha Theatrical Ensemble. And I didn't have any money. And I said, could you come get us from this airport?
Yep.
So we get into how he lets us stay in his house because he was going on the road to promote Welcome Back, Kotter. We all just back, right? And he gave me and you the apartment. And so, and his car, which was funny because I didn't know how to drive. In New York, you don't learn how to drive. You learn to take the subway or the bus.
Right.
Anyway, so we walked everywhere. And so, folks, this is a true story. Please don't get it twisted and think, oh, they're so theatrical. I'm too old to not want to tell the truth in my life. But Kim and I thought, okay, what do I do? Because this little girl is so adorable. What can I do to get her in the business? Because she had already talked to me about wanting to be an actor and wanting to do what mommy was doing. So I read in an article that this little boy was at an agency. He was doing I think it was the Burger King commercial, Rodney Allen Rippey or something, Rodney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I said, well, let me call up there. So I called and they said, well, thank you for calling. And if you will just submit a picture in the mail and Miss Deotis will look at it. And if she's interested, we'll give you a call and set up a meeting. Okay, I came from New York, from Harlem. We didn't do that. First of all, I didn't have money for a stamp. So let's go from the beginning. I was buying 25-cent pot pies, remember?
Yes.
And I just
Which I still love to this day.
Me too. Thank you, Swansons. I'm just saying. But those pot pies saved our lives because 25 cents, I could scrounge that up. But we had very little to no money. He paid, that same guy, Jay, paid our rent for the first month and the last month. And he said, what you do in the middle, girl, that's on you.
That's on you. Yeah. Okay. So, because I want to pause there because I mean, just everything is. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. It does pour out. It does.
Thank you for not spanking you or what?
No, just for the. Well, first for being you, and then for sharing, and with the amount of transparency, you know, that you're sharing with. Before we, you know, leave New York for that stretch of time. So Grandma, your mother, was a dancer. Yeah. And then and she danced at the Savoy. She was a ballroom dancer. The Cotton Club, but also you had a wonderful time with Miss Pearl Bailey, and your audition process, because people are remembering that you were in Claudine. They remembered you in Come Back Charleston Blue. And so getting those milestones in your career, you were a stunt woman. I don't know how I was not cast as a stunt woman in Black Panther, because I showed them when I hosted Sister Circle once that I could do stunts. but you know, and I appreciate you spending so much time about me and my life, especially these childhood and early. We're gonna get to blue collar, we are, but for those early milestones for you in your career, what was that like? How did that happen? Like, I remember when they did that Stevie Wonder song, Black Man, and all of you guys from Al Fan Theatrical Ensemble was doing all the call and response, you know, where Stevie would say, you know, so-and-so did blah, 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 blah. And then you guys would answer, you know, Matthew Hansen, a black man, or, you know, those things. So you had a lot of milestones. Change at 125th Street with the great Roxy Roker. You know, Lenny and I forgot about that. Lenny Kravitz. Ron Glass. So walk us through some of that, you know?
Well, the only reason I hesitate on some of it is because I really want this to be about you.
But it can't be about me without those moments, because those moments are me.
Okay. Well, I mean, going after the reason I think here's the time. The reason I think all those things led up to why we did not let Dorothy, the oldest agency, say, put it in the mail, was because we had learned from our fans training. We only play to win. We learned to be strong. We learned to overcome blackness. We did a lot of Langston Hughes poetry and shows we did. Yeah. And we wear the mask, and please don't anybody use we wear the mask for today's coronavirus, because that poem had nothing to do
Nothing
with
to
the
do with
virus.
it.
And remember, Vernee Watson was like my mentor. I love her. She's on Bob Hart Abishola now as the funny friend who's in the nurse area with her. But Vernee would do this choreography, and we go dun 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 dun.
Yes, I remember this.
Dun, 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 and we would say, we wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile, with torn and bleeding hearts, we smile and mouth with myriad subtleties. Why should the world think otherwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh the clay is vile beneath our feet, and long the mile. But let them see us otherwise. I may be off at the end here. We wear the mask. But the point of it was so empowering.
Excuse me, ma'am. You are not just going to run that and then just act like, so I'm going to mess up the last part. But the point is, do you know that you just laid us all out right there by delivering, just spontaneously, just going to let Laurence Dunbar just fall out your mouth like that.
Yeah, but let me try to tell you what I ate yesterday. I won't remember. What is that, Lord? Lord.
Oh, I know, Alexis. She said the same thing. How you end like that? What? Anyway, come on. Let's give you some applause. Something.
Okay. But that's the way people
Hey,
should
Terry.
have their relationship with Christ. You should be.
Wait a minute. Wait. What?
Yes, I'm gonna segue, because that very thing you just said. How you gonna end just like that, like it was nothing? That's how your relationship should be with God. It should be, I'm so used to talking to him. I'm so used to praying to him. I'm so used to him reprimanding me, chastising me, but I'm so used to him blessing me. It should be that way with your relationship with God. I had to throw that in because that's what came on my heart. You thanked me for being real. Well, there it is.
All righty.
Yes.
All right. So we have a few people on here who just love you, people that you have mentored along the way. And at this moment, we're just going to acknowledge, I just saw Terry Vaughn sending hey. But are you ready for this name? Rasan Patterson.
Oh, now that'll make me cry. Oh, Rasan, what a story we had to tell, right? Because when you say Rasan Patterson, the next thing we have to say is Tommy Lynch.
That's right.
Tommy Lynch. Oh my gosh. So Rasan, I love you, boy, and I'm proud of you. Keep on singing, baby. You made Patti LaBelle's song change your life. And I can tell you, I had no idea that seed I planted getting you to Tommy Lynch would later in life, when I was feeling like I was being blacklisted from the industry because of taking a stand on a show that I didn't want to direct, Tommy Lynch is the one that reached into my household and said, come on, I'm going to take you to Canada and I'm going to let you direct Little Romeo's show for the whole season. Well, it becomes half a season because you have to take a week of prep and then a week to shoot. And while I'm shooting, Kaz, remember Kaz?
Yes.
Kaz was prepping for his, and so we did half each. And it was just getting one episode here and one episode there. And then Tommy Lynch also, before that, called some of his friends who had Nickelodeon shows and said, you got to hire this woman. So I didn't even know I had this guardian angel called Tommy Lynch in my life. I didn't know. And he was sure. And then people like John Boab, Tony Singletary, my mentors who got me ready. Stan Lathan, who got me ready as a director, who gave me opportunities to ask questions while I was coaching the actors. He was teaching me directing. So wow. Those are the milestones that I have to reach back and say thank you so much. I also want to say this is funny to me only probably. when I was engaged to Irvin, we had at your house, that wonderful, amazing house in Burbank that I love so much. You had the first wedding of our, so it was the first wedding shower of our church. And so Harvest Christian Center came out full force. Everybody came with gifts. It was an amazing evening. And then you took me out onto the poolside, and all the women were like behind me. I was wondering, what's going on? Why are we going out here? And it was nighttime. And all of a sudden, coming through the gate was my husband.
Husband to be.
Irvin,
Husband to be, because this was your shower.
Yeah, at that time was the husband to be, my fiance, Irvin Hurd, and who's a 4-time Emmy Award-winning technical director. I thought I'd throw that in because I am proud of him. And
Yes.
he's the one who set all this up for me and got me the iron and set up this, because I have no idea how I'm on this iPad. It's funny I didn't say iPhone. That's how, okay. But anyway, here he comes. And guess who sang background for him? 2 of our friends, one who's a minister now, but Ben Harney, who was a Tony Award winner for Dreamgirls on Broadway. That's who sang background.
Yeah.
He was a member of our church. Remember that?
Yes, I totally do.
Yeah, and so it was just, it was an amazing time. And so hearing like Benita's on, or, you know, people from Harvest Christian Center, I will say this.
Different Benita, Lord Jesus, different Benita. Just
You didn't
that,
say it was,
I did. I said, but listen, I said Benita.
Listen, Linda, go ahead.
Benita from Lion King.
Oh, okay. I forgot you got high-powered friends. Okay.
Anyway, just slide on back to New York for just a minute, because somehow you went into Paul Laurence Dunbar, and we still didn't get to. Yes, but we still didn't get to Claudine and all of that. And also, here's the tie-in, guys, to Tommy Lynch and Rasan. Mom discovered Rasan Patterson, and then had him brought him out to California, and he became one of the stars of the TV show Kids Incorporated. And then Rasan's career, you know, took off. All right, now back
noise, babe. Like, I don't know. There's a squeaky noise.
It's the bird. I'm in the.
You're in the bushes.
I'm not in the bush. You know what?
I know. Yes, I do.
Okay, so, Lord, you know what? We're just gonna do Q&A with you.
Okay.
In this little part. Sorry.
You see how God stopped you from talking? You don't run your mama. Let that be a lesson for all these listeners. Your mama, is it all right to do a Q&A? Okay, go ahead.
You're right. Mother, is it all right if I do a Q&A with you for just a spot?
Yes, lovey.
All right.
Really
so when you were on Claudine, when you were in Claudine and Cotton Comes to Harlem, and those movies, what was that experience like? Did they just keep pulling from the acting school that you were in?
Most of the time the auditions came because it was the one place in Harlem. You had, like the Negro Ensemble Company. I think that's where Denzel was. Our company was up in Harlem, and we would get calls, as well as they would get calls too, and say, we have a role for a Black actress, and we know that you have a collection of us up there. Who fits this? And that's how a lot of times we got auditions. Also, we learned something back then, and Vernay, again, was one of the people, Vernay and Tamu, we learned that if the job wasn't right for us, we recommended the other person. So we never had that kind of ego stuff. If I went on an audition and it wasn't right for me, I'd say, oh, there's a girl in my ensemble who's awesome. Vernay Watson, you got to bring her in. And Vernay would come in and get the job. because it was right for her. And Vernay went on the audition for my first Broadway show, which was called Tough to Get Help. She went on that audition,
Ooh, I remember that.
called me from the payphone backstage and said, this is a show you should get. I went and auditioned and I got it. So we learned to be a team and a village of what's right for you is yours. And it didn't take away. We both had nice careers following the path that God set for us. That's why we would win when we knew it wasn't right for us. We gave it to someone who would win it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Candida, remember Candida? Candida went
Yes.
on the audition. I coached her to go on an audition for Lady in Red. And she told the producers who said to her, you're so young. I think you're a little young for the part, but we love all your choices. And she said, well, if you love all my choices, why don't you have my acting coach come in and audition? And I got that movie. That's how that came about.
Wow. Wow.
And just for the record, hold on. I've been wanting to say this. Just for the record,
come on.
I did not do the nude scene when you see me going up the steps remember when we went to the movies to see the premiere, Kim? When
yes, ma'am.
See my character going up the steps to go into that bedroom, that's the last I shot the movie. Next thing you and me go to see the movie, I'm all proud, take us in the side door at the movie theater, Kimmy, and I'm excited to see the movie, and we're sitting there, and I almost wet myself. Because that was not my dark skin. The girl was at least 7 times darker than me, in the bed, naked, where they done killed her in the bed. Now, just tell me that's going to happen, because I signed the thing said I will not do nudity. Stupid me didn't know I needed to say, and nobody else will in my place. I didn't know to do that. Early days. Be careful. Actors, be careful. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
You wanted to go back?
I did, thank you. And I'm laughing because how you just laid into that thing, that's so me. They must have seen me do that 100 times on here.
Okay, that's what the good of social media is. You can get some things straight.
Listen, that's the truth right there.
Okay, come on now. I'm so glad trouble don't last always. Oh, God. Hey, listen.
Oh, God. Okay.
Just come in.
Now, what kills me is I would have thought that would have been a place for you to, weave in your faith and your Lord when you talk about what's for you is for you. Surely there's a scripture, not that other spot where you just came out of left with Jesus. I mean, that's fine, but I'm just saying.
Sometimes you got to come out of left. Sometimes you got to come out of left with Jesus.
Yes, you do. That's gonna be on a mug. That's gonna be on a mug right there. Okay, so now you'll get. So let's talk about when you booked. Yes, Rasan. We're gonna get to that. Rasan said, let's talk about how dope of a songwriter and pianist your mama is. We're gonna get to that. Okay. Y'all, my mama wrote a hit song for David Peaston back in the day.
Thank you for bless your heart. But Kimmy,
yes.
Asked about when you talk about you being a stunt woman.
Yes.
Okay, so we've all, and I think all of you know, we've all taught him to be clumsy.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Over stuff. And happy birthday, but you were clumsy. I mean, clumsy. And I never understood how she was going to make it on those skates. I was the pictures every day she was at rehearsal. Because I saw all those wires from all those cameras, and I said, oh, Lord, he protected you. The prayers, the
righteous
prayed for you, had you on their mind. They took the time and prayed for you. Okay,
I prayed for me over my skates.
But let's talk about Claudine, since you want to talk about that.
Yes,
Claudine,
and you flung yourself down the stairs.
Okay. So at Alphan Theatrical Ensemble, he prepared us for any situation that could happen. So we would start on Saturday time. We would go into a gym and we would run around the track at the top on 135th Street at the Y.
Yep.
which is where I saw people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was, what was his name originally? Lou Alcindor. When he was Lou Alcindor, he used to come to the 135th Street
Wait a minute, Mama.
YMCA.
What was his name before?
Lou Alcindor.
Mama, he wasn't Hawaiian.
Kimmy, Lou Alcindor. Leave it there. So anyway, we would exercise and teach us like light tumbles and stuff like that. So
Yes, ma'am.
he always said, you know, you go to, when I tell you start at 100%.
Yes.
Okay. He said, go to the set and be the person that answers the director's needs. Be the person.
Wait a minute. Wait, yes, say that again.
No more t-shirts and mugs. Be the person that answers the director's needs. So a director, now that I am a director, I know what that means. I'm sitting there at home reading my script and I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to make this moment come alive? What am I going to do? And when you get somebody that comes on your set and suddenly makes it come alive, you're like, whoa, half my work is done. That's why, in case you guys been wondering, that's why you'll see certain teams stay together. You know, like they'll do a movie and they bring in the same people, like for the Mission Impossible team or you know, all the sequels and stuff. Once you get a team that gets it, it's gold.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I said, and because Tamu was starring in it with, who also was a member of Al Fan Theatrical Ensemble, she played Laurence Hilton Jacobs' sister. So there was a scene in the movie where we were going to take the building on 125th Street. It was a political move, and we were going to storm that building. So we stormed that building and went up what seemed to be like 90 steps up to the top of this building on 125th Street. And so the cameras were at the bottom of the steps, and it was time to run down the steps because the police were coming after us. So we started running. My mind said, everybody's running. What else can I do? So I rolled down the steps, and it rolled me so fast, it took me into the street where a man named Alex was driving the police car that was supposed to drive up and slam on brakes, and then those police were going to run up the steps after us too. Well, who knew that he was the president of the New York Stuntmen's Association? He told the director, we need to reshoot that and get a camera in there to catch all that action. And he called me over and he said, what's your name? I said, Chip. And he said, okay, Chip Fields. Chip Fields. I said, it's Chip Fields. He said, okay, Chip Fields is going to go back up the steps. And then suddenly it was about me in that moment.
Suddenly it was about me. Suddenly it was about me.
Cammie, don't make me cry on here, because I, unlike you, have on makeup, and I would like to not, you know. But that's how he works. That's how he works. That's how he works. He will shine his light where he wants. And so they set it up, and I did it again. And Alex asked me, would you like to be in the New York Stuntmen's Association? And I'm like, what? I was an extra, y'all. I went there as an extra. But when I say to you, go confidently in the direction of your dream and live the life you've imagined, that was a moment where I went very confident. I didn't have nothing to lose. I was just an extra. That's why I don't let people on my show say I'm just an extra anymore.
That's right. That's right.
And so once it got filmed, it was like a featured moment. I ended up getting more money, and God knows I needed it. Poor kids from Harlem, we were lucky it was being shot on 125th Street. All we had to do was walk to work, you know. So those are the kind of stories. And the last story for the Pearl Bailey thing.
Yes.
Everybody who was a dancer was auditioning for this role of Minnie Fay. In the original Broadway version and the book, Minnie Fay was a dancer. So Cab Calloway's daughter played Minnie Fay in the original Pearl Bailey production. I don't think you knew that. So I go to this years later. She wants to have another final tour of it. I go to the audition, and I'm telling you, barely had enough money for cab fare, and just a couple extra dollars in my pocket that Al Fan gave me, so I, you know, in case we were there a long time. And sure enough, I go into the audition, and somebody comes back on from their audition, comes back to the backstage area where we all were and said, oh my God, Pearl Bailey is doing the auditions. And everybody was like, what? You know, so everybody was all excited. And anyway, they all went out to do their auditions. And then I got called on the stage. And so she says, all right, darling, what would you like to sing? And I said, well, ma'am, I was going to sing, I forget what it was. I said, but since you're here, would it be okay if I sang Things Look Swell, Things Look Great? And she said, oh, that's so perfect. So I said, okay. And I burst into things look swell, things look great. Gonna have the whole world on a plate. Anyway, when it was over, she said something else to me. And I said, yes, ma'am. She said something else. And I said, no, ma'am. And I kept, I was raised in the South. So that's the respect I knew to have.
Yes.
He knew I needed to have that respect. Now I'm not mad that I was raised in the South, because now I understand what that was for, to not be a New York slickster like some of the ladies who went out and auditioned for that role. And they were all like, hey, Pearl, how you doing? No, they didn't. I came out there and said, yes, ma'am, it's a pleasure. Thank you, ma'am. And she said, okay, will you go off and there's next to her was the exec producer, Bob Sharon. And she said, and Mr. Sharon's going to meet you backstage. So then I thought, bless her heart, she's going to give me a nice, a letdown. But she wanted it to be a special letdown because I wasn't a dancer. He comes backstage and said,
okay, wait, because there's a gem there, and I know you know the rest of this story. So you were prepared with one song, okay, with one thing you were going to do, and when you found out in your prepping backstage that you changed it up and you had something else ready. Lesson, what is the lesson there, Mom? What is the gem that you're about to drop just in that moment?
You need alternate plan B, plan C, and you need to be flexible, but you also need to let the Spirit lead you, because that was not something in my heart, but the Spirit led me. I didn't even know that was the Spirit leading me at that point in my, faith walk, to just, and also do you and be real and be honest. So when he came, which leads me to when Mr. Sharon came backstage, I thought it was going to be, the letdown. And he said, Miss Bailey would like a cup of soup. And across the street, soon as, and I'm on there, why is he telling me this? And he said, and across the street, there's a Chinese restaurant. If you could just go across the street and just tell them Miss Bailey wants that soup now. So now I'm thinking, hold up,
hold up.
Is this one of them Hollywood moments where they about to take advantage of me? I didn't know what that was. So I called my little dime in the phone. I called Al Fan and I said, they're asking me to go across the street to get some soup. What is that about? And he said, go across the DAMN street and get the soup. I said, yes, sir. So I went on across the street. Thank God I didn't have to pay for it because it was an expensive restaurant. And he said, yeah, yes, Miss Pearl Bailey, I hear you go. And I took the soup. I went back across the street. And it was delicious, she said. It smelled like I should be eating that myself. Well, I stepped back downstairs in that green room for over an hour while they kept auditioning people. And I'm getting more and more ticked because I'm thinking, I don't want to go home in the dark. All of this is going on, right? Finally, an hour or so later, here comes Pearl Bailey herself. And she says, hello, darling, thank you so much for the soup. I said, well, it's cold now. And she said, that's all right. I really didn't want the soup. Now I'm about to get ticked. Why am I down here? And then I'm thinking, Lord, what is I really was nervous. Yeah. She said, do you dance? I said, do I dance? I said, well, I move well. That was the answer you gave, so you didn't lie. But I did move well.
Right.
And she says, okay, well, there's a dance audition tomorrow. So come to the dance audition. You have a callback. Now, I knew what that meant. And I'm wondering why she had me down doing whatever she was doing. And so I never got an answer other than she didn't want me to leave without her coming to tell me that, which gave me a certain amount of confidence that she wanted me to. You know what I mean, Kimmy?
Yeah.
I came back. Are we running out of time? Because I can't see a clock.
You're good.
Okay.
And everybody knows and Instagram has been letting people go long. Instagram has been running longer than, but let people go longer than an hour. But everybody knows if it cuts off, we just pick right back up. So you're good.
Okay. So anyway, the next day I go in sneakers to this second audition where I see Debbie Allen and a host of other prominent singer dancers from Broadway auditions and stuff. And I'm thinking, I do not belong here. If ever there was a moment in my life where me and God had a, what they say, a coming to Jesus meeting, where we had that meeting, it was, my heart was sinking because they did a thing called waltz clogs. First of all, I'd never heard of it because I never studied dance. My mom was a dancer, but that gene skipped me. And until you did the thing you did, I thought it skipped you too, until we'll get to Dancing with the Stars. I thought it not only skipped you, but ran away from you. I didn't think you, we got to talk about Dancing with the Stars before you put me off of this thing. Okay. But anyway, I do my comedy version of what I see them doing. And just like that movie Fame, Kim, and the Broadway show where they do lines and they say, okay, first line go up, and they do it, and you just watch them standing behind.
Yes,
then
ma'am.
they say, ladies, and then they say, okay, number 3, number 7, number 4, thank you very much, you can leave. And then whoever the other numbers are, like, I got to stay for a minute. So I went up there with my line, and I'm doing, but mine had, I mean, I was like,
Please stand up and do it. Please move that chair and get up and do it. Please. It's my birthday. It's my birthday.
It's my birthday. Don't let me do well, Alexis would not like me to do.
You got to move the chair though so we can see you. Move it.
I am. The
Okay.
mashed potatoes. She would not want me to do.
No, we're not going to do that. No. We're not.
But you can't see my, but it's da 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 da. It's like da da.
Wait,
You can't see my feet unless that expensive technical director of a husband of mine comes and aims this camera down. And guess what? He looks like my union. Okay, you'll just have to imagine.
Okay.
But anyway, I did what I could do. And I'm looking at people like Debbie Allen with tap shoes. First of all, you're supposed to have on tap shoes. I had on sneakers. I was the only one with sneakers. Because I couldn't afford the sneaker, much less a tap shoe. Why have a tap shoe when you never took tap? Who knew? Why she invite me? Now I'm mad at her. She put me on stage.
Sebastian.
Is Sebastian on the tap for me? What?
No, I just need.
Anyway.
Alexis, grab your phone and tell Paula to come, please. I can't click off. And you need a moment. Just tell Paula to just come. Okay, go ahead, Mom. Please, thank you.
So, Alexis, you're good for some things, baby girl. I love you. But so I'm just going to say, I ended up getting the role. She personally selected me.
Hold on, mommy. Text on Paula and tell her to come. Tell her I'm on IG Live with Mama. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
And again, Chris, thank you for the grandmother name of Mom. I love my name. He gave me that. Chris gave me Mom.
Okay.
Ooh.
I thought it was me, but it might have been. I was delirious. I was a new mom.
It was Chris.
Okay.
It's just like you thought you were on Sesame Street.
You know, I was trying to catch it before you could say it.
I know.
Thank you.
So anyway, so that was how that job came to be. And all of these were jobs I needed to win because I had you and I had to feed you and I had to clothe you. And I always say one of the things you always honor me with is when I took my whole paycheck when we were on the road with Hello Dolly and we got to California and I went to Century City on a day off and it was your birthday and I got this giant, you know, the big box from like Costco that you get of toilet tissue. I took one of those boxes and filled it with dresses and accessories and shoes and had it shipped to Kimmy. And you always made me feel like I had done the best Santa Claus moment of life because of that. But that was Mama Pearl. She mentored me through that whole tour and gave me great props all through. And I buried my mother. Here we go. My mother died after getting a chance to see me on Broadway with Pearl Bailey, and Miss Bailey had done a big sandwich board outside of the theater that night for opening night in New York. And on the sandwich board, she highlighted the part where the reviewer talked about my work and said, Chip feels is a tough and tender mini Faye, and some other things that I don't remember now. I just remember tough and tender because my crew on the show bought me a beautiful necklace that said TNT, which was really sweet. The day after opening, they went and got this thing. So those are some of the stories. To read more of them, please read A Blessed Life by Kim Fields.
Okay.
Yes, baby.
All right. Thank you for all of that. All right. So now we're going to fast forward to we get to LA. Mom Yvette Nicole Brown is on. She says hi.
Hey, she's my heart.
Yes.
I've never dealt with an actress in this industry that I love genuinely as much as her, Mieko, and Nadej. They know who they are. You are real sisters, worth loving, worth believing in, and worth praying for your careers. Okay. There are others, but those three, the two, Mieko and Nadej, were on Young Dylan. Speaking of California, one of the most prominent moments in my life was being plucked out of LA at a very difficult time in my career by Tyler Perry, who said, I want you to come and help me, because he wanted to write some of his 1-hour shows and needed to get a break from House of Pain and his new show, at that time, Meet the Browns. But
speaking of Meet the Browns, and Terry, I don't think you have jumped on yet when Mom gave you your love. But Terry, you know that Mom counts you in that very, very short list. Terry Vaughn said,
I also count her in the very short list of daughters.
See there.
From
Boom.
other mothers.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's there. When I worked
Tyler
with Parker, yeah, I was just want to say about the people calling me Mama Chip. When I worked on the pilot for Monique, the Parkers, and they brought her in as a comedian who had never done television. So I coached her through the first 3 or 4 seasons and the pilot, and she started calling me Mama Chip because she was very country too. And she was Mama Chip, and it kind of stuck on the set. And so it just kind of boomeranged, and not boomerang, just snowballed,
snowballed.
Snowballed, right. It snowballed. A lot of people calling me Mama Chip. And I will say this, I love that you call me that because it keeps a certain respect and it keeps a certain amount of understanding that when we work together, don't get crushes, and it keeps a certain mama love. And I have always appreciated that, really, because
you said don't get crushes.
Yeah, people get crushes on their directors, you know that. And by people calling me Mama Chip, that stops all that crap. It keeps it very respectful and loving. I just thought I'd say, and thank you, Monique, for giving me that name. It's a term of endearment, and I love it. The other person I love in this business, so yes, I'm skipping all over it because I feel the time needs to run out. People have heard enough of me. Thank you, Steve Harvey.
Yes. Go on and put that out there.
You, family, in a way, I didn't know you would do that on a radio show. When somebody said the wrong thing about Kim, you jumped on them like you were going to beat them. And you went through a whole segment, then a commercial break. And after the commercial break, you came back still fussing. You love on my children. You have taken a heart to my family in a way that I will never forget. You have loved on my husband. He has worked on your shows, and you have loved on him. You always talk about my husband's elegance, and you like to imitate him when he says, that's a 10-minute break, because my husband has this deep, sexy voice. No, you may not hear it. Okay, moving on. Yeah, Steve, thank you also the way, I'll get you off of that. Steve, also, when I was there with Kimmy for her promoting her book and her show that was upcoming, I think it was A Question of Faith. Was that the movie?
It was the first Christmas movie I did for Lifetime.
With
Tatiana.
Right. What's the name of that one, baby? Okay. So that
Wrapped up
movie,
in Christmas.
yeah, wrapped up in Christmas, and I was in the audience, and he said to you, he said, please give your mother my love. And you said, give it to her yourself. She's right there, and
She's right
pointed to me
there.
at the bleachers.
Yep.
And he turned around, walked off the set, walked up the steps into where the audience was, and we hugged each other for, you only saw maybe 30 seconds of that hug.
Yes.
That hug went on for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they had to cut to Kim to be able to cut away from that hug of the respect that he showed and the honoring. He did it again when we went on Celebrity Family Feud. So
okay, yes, because yes, okay. So, and speak, Mom, don't do that to her. So speaking of Lifetime and Christmas movies, no, stop.
Three,
What are you doing?
1. Where's Alexis?
I know she's coming. Yeah, she's about to put you on blast for that. But speaking of, and we're gonna backtrack to get to Baby I'm Back and Spider-Man and Good Times, and then when she played my mom on all the TV shows. I'm trying to get to you. Adrian. So, Mom, Adrian Holmes is on here. So he played
Adrian.
Wait a minute. So he played.
Okay, don't bring him up. You don't want me to say hello. Hey, Adrian. Your accent is delicious. And
wait a minute. What accent?
Is that the same, Adrian?
Lord. Okay, that's why I said let me finish.
Why do I feel like Regine's mother, right?
Because you acting like her. Lord, no, when I did the Christmas movie, You Light Up My Christmas, and
Yes.
Adrian played my leading man in what accent?
He has like this Canadian vibe or something. Whatever.
Bye, ma'am. Just say hi and keep it pushing.
Hey, Adrian, what up?
So anyway, all right. So now we're in LA.
Okay.
And we go to, I know Terry, right? And Terry,
what? Wait,
no, don't put your glasses on to read nothing, because that'll be too many things for you to try to read comments and focus. Just focus. See, just doing too much already. So
he's not from Canada, Mom. Thank you, Alexis. I told you Alexis was coming. OMG.
Why are you saying thank you? Why are you saying thank you?
Mama Chipfield. Thank you. Yvette, Nicole.
He's from the UK and Canada.
Well, that's what I said. That means his voice does not sound like 125th Street. All I said was he has a. What? That's
okay,
real.
we're just gonna keep it pushing.
Okay.
So let's now talk. We're in LA. Yes. We are you've landed Days of Our Lives. Okay, let's get so you landed Days of Our Lives. You were working there.
I was supposed to be working there for 2 days. They kept me there for like 2 years.
Well, tell that story. Go.
Well, it happened when I was doing Hello Dolly. I got an audition. If you want to talk about one of the regrets of your life, and you shouldn't have regrets, but one of the things I feel was the worst decision of my life, when I stopped being managed by Holly Robinson's mama, Dolores. She came to Hello Dolly, saw me that night on stage, and contacted me backstage after the show, gave me her card, and I said, I'll call her. So I called her, and she immediately sent me to audition for, these are things you may not know. She immediately sent me on an audition while I'm in town on my Monday. You know, theater is dark on Monday, so I had a day off. She sent me to an audition for Days of Our Lives. I went, and then I got the role. I was like, what? And so when they called me, I said, God bless you for picking me. But in all fairness, I would never stop working for Miss Bailey, who has loved me and mentored me through this whole tour. I'm not going to be available to come do Days of Our Lives until after I finish this commitment. So they said, oh my gosh, we really wanted you. Is there any way? And I said, no, she believes I'm going to be on that stage every night, and I'm not going to disappoint her. And this is the things that character, it came back to me later that they called me anyway after I finished. So see, even though they said I had to be available to start work that next Monday, I didn't take the job because it wasn't the right thing. It wasn't right to do that to Miss Bailey and the cast. And then when I got back to California, when we finally moved here, they called looking for me, and I got that job. Norman Lear said to me when I did not get the role that Bernadette got for Good Times, he screen tested me, Tamu, and Bernadette, that you know, the one who actually got the role. But when I didn't get the role, he said to me, if you ever come to LA, call me. So I came to LA, and I just saw you with Mr. Lear. Pat showed me on something where he did on his Instagram, his love for you. It was really sweet. And he called me in to do another role, and I got the role. I didn't want that role. And I said to him, I so appreciate this role. I don't really want this role. I don't like playing these kind of roles. And he said, I just need footage of you. Just do the job. Kind of like Alfan saying, go get the
soup.
The soup, right. It was the same kind of moment. So I said, yes, sir. And I was obedient, and I did the role, and I had.
What was the role? What was the role?
I'll say. So then.
Can I say?
No. So then I get a call from Jane Murray, who was the big casting director.
Oh my God.
You remember her?
Yes.
And she said, we want to bring you in we're bringing Janet Jackson in. And you and I had been watching Janet that summer with her brother doing Come Up and Sing Me something, you know, doing Mae West imitations. And I thought, oh, what a
gorgeous shot. Wait a minute. Was that your Janet doing Mae West?
Leave me alone.
No, I'm getting clarity.
So we
it was precious. It was precious.
I went on the audition, and I went. Now this is an interesting story, and I give this. I use the opportunity to tell students, no, I don't teach anymore. No, I don't. Mm-hmm. But when I used to have acting classes, I would teach my students. I tell my students this story because I think it incorporates a spiritual understanding of how God works, and it also incorporates you having the hubris of your youth to go forth and do something out of the ordinary, like roll down the steps in Claudine. Okay, so I went for the audition, and when I went in, they said there's a husband and wife writing team for Good Times, and they said, oh my gosh, you're lovely, but you're so young. I don't think this role is going to be right for you. I said, so now what do I hear? I hear, I ain't even going to get to audition. Well, guess what? I didn't like the script they had for me to audition with anyway. So I remembered Alfan saying, you become the answer to that director's needs. And instantly I said, listen, I really appreciate your calling me in. And I just want to say, thank you for writing a role about a woman who is so frustrated that she would burn her child, because I never burnt Kim, but I will tell you this, it's hard being a single parent. And I got all emotional, and I did this whole thing. That is how I got that role, because they threw the script away and they just used what I said.
All right.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, because first of all, you got me with that, and I was there, and I thought I knew the story, and I'm just all in it with you, and then you did that.
Too young to understand all that went on.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
that lady got up out of her chair and came, and here this little girl from Harlem, she got up out of her chair, walked around, and she was part of the whole, you know, Jefferson's, Good Time, all those.
You're talking about Irma Kalish.
Yes, and her husband. That's who auditioned me.
Yeah.
And she came around and she just held me and hugged me while I wept.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Improv.
Yeah, you have a few of those iconic moments in your auditions. Like when you auditioned for, and we're gonna dive a little deeper with the whole Good Times thing. But when you auditioned for Hill Street Blues, and Alexa said, I'm crying in every audition from now on, Lord. But when you auditioned for Hill Street Blues, and Daniel J. Travani, who was the lead in Hill Street, you guys, he had a cup of coffee in his hand, and he had to bring you some news or something, and you got mad and you slapped.
My husband had been killed in line of action when he had just put in a request to get out of that.
Right. And so you slapped that coffee out of his hand in the audition.
And beat his chest like this.
I'm sorry.
I beat his chest. I went, ugh! And it knocked the cup down, and it got all over his, wait a minute, his costume for the show. This is why wardrobe people know to have doubles.
No, this is why you don't go too far in auditions, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
All I knew was, you know how when people say, do you want me to just read it? And I always say to my students, no, I don't want you to just read it. Start finding some things right now. We didn't learn that in Alfan. Alfan taught us to go do the job.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Okay.
And then he told me I thought I was going to be fired. He hugged me and said that was the best audition ever. And it wasn't audition. That was the rehearsal. I'd already gotten the job. That was the rehearsal before they shot it.
Okay. Got it. All right. So now let's back up. So we're in LA, and you were doing Days of Our Lives, and you touched upon Dolores and Days of Our Lives. So she was wait, what?
She was working for
she's talking about Holly Robinson Pete's mother, Dolores Robinson, who is one of the most iconic managers in the industry. And for those of you who are just joining,
she was an agent.
She was an agent at this time, right? Okay, so for those of you who are just joining us, and thank you, Mom, the numbers are crazy right now. So today is my birthday, and so I wanted to wait. So because you know I can't focus. So I asked Mom to kick off what has to be this digital shindig. And so this is what's been happening for the last hour. Okay, so
in an hour.
And we've only just gotten to LA and booked gigs.
How's my makeup?
It's fabulous. You look lovely, beautiful. What'd you say?
Hallelujah.
Oh, so so Dolores was repping you, and you mentioned regrets, and you said this is the one thing that you regret.
I ended up being talked into changing agencies, and I should never have done that. Remember when I talked about loyalty and commitment? Now there's a point where loyalty and commitment work, and then wisdom has to set in to decide if this the right path for me. I understand people have to grow, or if you become really, really big and have someone with you who has learned that next level so that they can do litigation for you, that they can do a deal for you. I understand that. But that was the one time I went against my character. I let somebody talk me into leaving that agency. I should never have done that. Because Dolores Robinson would have made my career everything.
Amen. Holly just jumped on and sends love to you. Holly.
Hey, how you guys doing? You and your husband are so cute on your shows. It takes me back. Holly she also was the child you don't spank. I'm sure Dolores never had to spank her. She was always obedient, always wanting to please her mother by getting a good report everywhere she went, just like you.
I did not know it. Holly says she loves you, Mommy.
I love you too, Holly.
Holly, I didn't know you and I went that far back into our childhood in terms of our moms having that degree of connection. Okay, so we're in LA, you're doing Days of Our Lives, and I get the call to audition for Mrs. Butterworth's Sarah commercial. And when I go into the audition, and many of you know the story by now, but when I went into audition, Janet was there, and I just froze up, and I told my mom, I don't belong here. I just shouldn't be here. Now, something I learned today is that when my mother went to the audition for Hello Dolly, and she saw those dancers, and she thought, I don't belong here. I shouldn't be here. Now, fast forward a few years later, and her kid, hey, Mom, Brandy is in here and says hi. But when her kid looks at her and says, I don't belong here,
Yes, you were ready to run to that elevator.
Because we knew, like you had said, you know, we had watched Janet, yes, Janet Jackson. We had been watching her all summer in her summer shows with her brothers, and they had the wonderful TV show. And she was so, she was already, I mean, she was already so, but she wasn't just cute like that. And I was much younger, I was smaller, just teeth missing in all kind of places. And I wanted to go. I didn't feel like I belonged there. And Mom takes me over to the bathroom. Melba Moore, yes. Every time Mom kept saying theater, I kept wanting to tell Mommy that you were in here, because Melba's another one of those theater babies. When she, I mean, Pearly, just But anyway, Mom took me to the bathroom at that audition, and she said, don't let anyone or anything intimidate you. And she says, that girl isn't doing anything. It's you. It's you feeling that you don't belong here, and you do. Just go and be the best that you can be. And that, for decades in my career, I would go to auditions and I would see Jada there, or I would see Tisha there, or I would see other people there, and it was like, I don't belong here. The audition for Facts of Life. The audition for Facts of Life.
Living the life you imagine. You live that life.
But here's what's tripping me out, Mom. The fact that you had that same, you had to go through that in order to put it in me at my audition.
They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. You have always listened. Yes, that's what it is. That's why you have testimony, so that somebody else can learn from what you now have a passionate belief in. And you listened. Otherwise, I would have had to burn you with a But you, at least during those years, you looked at me and trusted me, and you listened, and you went back out there. But the other thing was, you knew to take that script and work on it. Most of those little girls out there didn't have formal training. So they didn't know there was a script, first of all. And the lady was surprised when we went in and said, hi, are there sides to read? And she said, oh my gosh, you're probably the one out of maybe 12 people here that asked for sides. So she gave us the sides. So we sat down and really worked on the sides in that bathroom.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did, Mommy. Yes, we did.
I know. And you took the leadership and the confidence with you when you walked in. But then here's what's funny, folks. The footage of her audition got destroyed somehow when they were unwinding it or whatever, rewinding it. And they called us and said, she was so good, but the footage is messed up. Is it at all possible for us to have you come back tonight? We have enough car fare for the one way and the come back.
Paula. Sorry.
We didn't have enough money to make 2 trips that day.
Yeah.
That's how tight money was. So I walked to the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard, because the place we went to was on Santa Monica, just straight down Santa Monica. And I said, well, it's a little bit of daylight was still there. I'm going to save the money for us to get on the bus to come back in the dark. But we got to the corner. This is not to be done by anyone. Hey, Paula.
Thank you. No.
Oh, that's your hubby. Hey, baby.
Mom said, hey, babe.
Hey, Mama.
Thank you.
And Chris.
He can't. He can't hear you. She's talking about how I was trying to take credit for the name Mom. I thought it was from me. She said it was from you.
You did it.
It was
It's
you.
all right. It's all right. It's all right. I love you though.
Love you back, baby.
Mom.
I want to be at the lake
I
house.
can hear what you're saying. Can I borrow one?
Hold on. Okay.
I want to be at the lake house. How you doing, baby?
And of course I come in and I want to be at the lake house. I'm great. I miss you. I miss your face.
Here it is. All me.
Y'all are killing it on here today. Y'all ooh,
well,
you look beautiful, and thank you, Granddad, for the setting. It's beautiful.
You knew it was him.
I know
my
this
family.
is all fabulous.
I know my family. But
But
y'all
thank
get
you.
back to it because I'm listening on my phone. Y'all are killing it. Y'all are preaching wisdom. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, babe. So we 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 got to go back, and the footage got messed up, baby. Everybody says hi to you. Everybody says hi.
He's seeing it.
Yes.
Yeah, so the footage got messed up. So we walked to the corner of Sunset to turn left and just go walking to that audition, which would have probably taken us 45 minutes to
Yeah.
walk. But in a car, it would have taken all of 10 minutes, right? So, excuse me, we get to we cross the street, get to the light to turn to, go in that direction. And a red sports car pulls up. And I just happened to turn because it was red. So I turned, and this black guy was in there. And honestly, it wasn't, I don't know if he was cute or not cute. I just know he was in a sports car and he was aimed that way and he was African American. So I just did the village moment and said, I'm so sorry. Listen, he was the first one at the light. And I said, I have to get her to a call back for an audition, and we just missed the bus. That was the little white lie. But imagine it's not too much of a lie because there wasn't no bus there. So one must have gone ahead of us and we missed it. So he said, hop in. I said, it's straight down that way. You ain't got to make a turn or nothing. He took us. Whoever you are, if you remember us, I've wanted to say for over 40 years, thank you. Because we were rushing, so I never got a name or a number. I didn't want him to think I'm hitting on him. I was, grateful for somebody offering a friendly ride. Don't try that today, y'all.
Don't.
This car. This is just one of those in that era. Plus the way he handled himself, I didn't feel nervous. But anyway, I got you back to the audition. You went in and auditioned. Then when we left, and no one was there but you for that part.
Yes.
And then we got on the bus and we came back and walked up the hill from Santa Monica up the hill to our apartment. Well, when I get the call 2 days later, they said they had auditioned in Chicago, New York, LA, and I think one more state, and it could have been Philly. I'm not sure. And they hadn't found anybody until they saw you. And they wanted you for the job. Now, the funniest part of the whole story, Kimmy, we were so broke. We didn't have money dust in our pockets. And one day after you had shot that commercial, one day and speaking of the lady that's going to come here after me, my sister, she used to send me money from her paychecks every month to make sure we could at least have, come on now. Pull it together. I'm the ones that should be crying. But anyway, she sent us money. So that's how we made it, from week to week. But we got the first check in the mail. I opened the mailbox. The check is in the mailbox. Before I even go upstairs, I'm opening up the envelope. And it said a lot of money. A whole lot of money. More money than I thought I could make in a lifetime. And that was the first check for you doing that commercial. Well, it's really the second check, because the first check, the first check was like $300 and some for shooting it. But here, this was called a new word, residuals. All the actors in the room say, hey. So residuals, for those of you who don't know, is every time a show or a commercial would play again, not the first time, but after that, every time it played, there's a system that records all the playings and it adds it up and it sends you a residual from all the extra times it showed. Like you'll see it as a rerun, or commercial repeating itself, and that but changed our lives. That check right there, that changed our lives. And then after that, I finally got my first job in commercials for Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes. I'm gonna post it. Y'all. Don't worry. I know how to find that one.
Well, I did too. So, that was, I think, the second one. The first one, we were out in the Hollywood Bowl in heavy winter suits, watching a football game, passing the bucket of chicken, and it was like 100 degrees out there. Hello, Hollywood. Hollywood.
Right. Okay, so thank you guys for joining in. The numbers just keep going up. Everybody is loving this. This is the greatest quarantine lit lockdown birthday one could ever imagine. Thank you, GM. I saw your note. Loretta Swit is also in here, Mom, from MASH. I mean, just,
Yeah.
yes.
Girl, you amazing actress. You made comedy fun and
Yes,
sexy. Come on, girl.
that's right. That's right. Okay, so then we're both working, and I'm gonna get to how Aunt Pat entered the picture into LA. But I want to jump a bit. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, one of my co-stars from the Upshaws. Gabrielle Dennis, wonderful comedic actress. So she's on here. But I want to jump into now I'm going to go back to Good Times. Okay. Before we get to the iconic part, though, you and Norman Lear have that wonderful story of when you auditioned for the role of Thelma.
Right.
And it's one of his favorite to see Norman Lear tell this story, and his face just lights up, and he goes, saying, Chip. Please share that story of when you first auditioned for Thelma in Good Times, which I didn't know until like recently, you guys, recently.
Well, I got called once again. I was at the Alfan Theatrical Ensemble, got a call and said, we're auditioning for Good Times, a new show from Norman Lear, and we'd like to, they described the character. And so I went in to audition for it with Tamu. We both went. And it was one of those, he had two tough and tender kind of girls, and he had two beauties. So I was not, in those days, and even now, I did not play the ingenue. I played somebody that was either well, back then I was playing like a kind of a tough little girl, you know, who can handle herself. And so I chose that character with the lines. And then once again, that Alfan stunt training that came in, because I thought I need to do something different with this. So I ended up doing that same, well, not the same, but I did thank my husband just brought me water.
Thank you, Dad.
This is what I'm talking about.
Cheers, Mom.
To you on your birthday, baby. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
So I went in the room, and there he was sitting there, and he said, "Hi, I'm Norman Lear, and this is Jane." I don't know if Jane was in town, the casting director. Either she was, or it was someone while she was still in LA. But anyway, the other lady was there, and I said, "Nice to meet you." And he said, "Okay, let's see what you got." Now he's sitting in a regular chair.
So wait a minute. I'm sorry. So this was the first time you met? I thought you guys met when, did he come to see Hello, Dolly and saw you in that?
No.
Lord,
I didn't know.
I done made something else up in my mind. Go ahead.
Sesame Street.
Rude.
So tell them why. Tell them why.
You're so rude. You got that Nicole Brown spirit on you right now. Just gonna be rude on my page. Here we go. Shenanigans birthday edition.
You're gonna tell them why I keep saying it?
Very quickly, total sidebar. For the longest time, I thought I was on Sesame Street. And when I was doing, I think it was Baby I'm Back, or might have been my first year of Facts of Life, Mom took me to this interview with TV Guide at this beautiful restaurant that's no longer there, called Old World. On Sunset Boulevard, and they had the most delicious Belgian waffles. And I was just sitting there, and I'm being interviewed by TV Guide, and it's just wonderful. And the man says, "So, you know, tell us, you know, how did you get started?" And I said, "Well, I'm from New York. I'm from Harlem, and I was on Sesame Street, and I had been saying that in a couple of interviews for a while." And my mother said,
I heard it.
This was the first time Mom had heard it, because I guess Aunt Pat had been with me on my other interviews and stuff. And so my mother looks at me, and she looks at the interview, and she says, I'm sorry. I have to just stop this. Baby, you were never on Sesame Street. You couldn't. I mean, just my little
You know,
face just. Oh, it was pitiful. It was
just
pitiful.
like social media, interviews are with you forever. I didn't want you to be a little liar. And in the same breath, I'm praising
A
God.
little liar.
So, and
So,
where were we?
I don't know if I had just seen somebody on Sesame
No,
Street.
you would watch stuff and see yourself in it in your mind. That was good. That was the good thing about it. You were living the life you imagined, only you took it to the next level and you imagined yourself in it, but then you told people you were in it. See, there's a difference. It's the difference.
Okay,
Bless
so
you.
amen. I'm not
Sorry.
a little liar. So go ahead.
What are we talking about? Sidebars. No, I'm gone.
So I thought that because I put in my mind that Norman Lear had seen you in Hello Dolly, and that's not
Again,
what happened.
the lie. That did not happen, Kimmy.
Right.
Okay.
So
But what had happened was I get to the audition and I decide I'm going to, it's something where they were trying to get the dollar or something. So Norman Lear takes
who was trying?
JJ's character was trying to get the dollar and I was trying to get the dollar. So I did a dive and came up from the floor and a roll, looked like tuck, drop, roll and tuck or whatever.
Tuck and roll.
Came up, tuck and roll. And I came up with the dollar. And that just took Norman Lear out. He says every time he tells me when I see him years later, he goes, she dove at my feet and grabbed the dollar and did a tumble and came up on her feet. Try that now, you'd have to call the paramedics.
Yes, so that was your audition for Thelma.
That got me a screen test in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So he flew me and Tamu and Bernadette out to Hollywood, and there was one more girl in LA that he was auditioning, screen testing for. And what's funny is I was on the stage where my husband to be was working on game shows and stuff in that same building.
Wait a minute, what?
Daddy Dad was working in CBS in that same building on Beverly where you danced.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Where I auditioned, I did my screen test.
Wow.
In that building, and not known to me was the man who was ultimately going to become my husband.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then fast forward, you then get called in to do this iconic role as a part of this major storyline that they were going to do on Good Times about child abuse. And they, Mom, Dolores, stop, put it down for a minute. Dolores is on. She can see and hear you.
Laurence, will you manage me now? Because I don't have, no, I actually have art, but you, girl, you had a vision for me, and I foolishly let somebody who will remain nameless talk me into going with another agency, and I missed all the stuff that you ended up giving to Holly. Doggone it.
We love you, Dolores Robinson.
Oh,
we love
God.
you. We love the family. Wendy,
in my heart.
Raquel is in the building. Yes. Yes. Okay, so going to get your iron. So what I remember is that you and Janet worked so hard on that episode.
Yeah, she was such a sweet, a somewhat timid little lady, and I want to say it was her mom that said to me, it could have been her mom or her dad, I can't remember who was there watching her that day on the first day of the rehearsal. And we talked about that Mrs. Butterworth's syrup job, which was how our icebreaker. And she said, then her mom, after rehearsal, she said, she could learn so much from you. And I said, well, let me ask you something. I know your family, but since you know a little bit about my family, would you trust me to at least have Janet stay with me for the weekend, and we could work together on the project? And she, without flinching, she said, that would be amazing, or something to that effect. And they let her on the weekend. It was the weekend, because it was one of those shows like from Wednesday to Wednesday or something. So that weekend we had rewrites and stuff, and she and Janet came home with me, and that's how you and her became like sisters. And we worked on it, and Janet sat down, and I said, okay, I know you don't like to cry. I know it's a different kind of genre for you. It's not the music industry, but we got to get to the point where when you come from that closet behind me, you got to have something on your face, and you got to bring it. And she said, she would get a little, she'd get tickled because it was such an unnatural thing to just cry on cue. And so I said, okay, well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I want you to go into the closet, and in our house, we're rehearsing in my house. And she goes, and I said, now I want you to just quietly, and I don't want you to come out of that closet until you have thought about something that would bring you to that kind of tear. If you can't believe it right now, then fine, that's that memory thing. So she went in the closet, and she came out, and when and I'm turned this way, she's behind me in the closet. When she came out that closet and said, Mom, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Then she made me act better. I mean, it was one of those moments. And that will always be that moment between her and me. I'll go to my grave, Janet. No one will ever know what that moment was for you, but thank you for being willing to go there. Because it's become an iconic piece of history that I can't imagine ever doing that without that moment from her. It was brilliant. She was brilliant.
And you both worked, like I said, I just always remember how hard you guys worked. I remember that you guys really, dissected the script and every beat and every moment and what was happening beforehand and what the relationship was. And then to know that you helped to write some of the dialogue in the scene when you come into the apartment, the Evans apartment, and you start explaining yourself, that sort of thing. What did it feel like? Because I know I've heard you say that when you were doing it, you had no idea the impact, that it was going to have. But even before we all knew what the impact would be, what was it like in that moment?
Working with Janae and Esther Roll and Jimmy and Byrne and their anti-me on behalf of her. They were behind Penny. They wanted Penny safe. And that everybody brought it. Everybody brought their A game. So we all went in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Real stage production where every actor has gone into that and has become that. Without each one of them, it would not have been all that it was. But everyone committed, everyone went in to believe the truth of that moment. And it was just, you don't really remember because it's out of body like experience. You don't really remember. But I do want to thank Norman and the director of the episodes who told me who I said, can I get a full-length mirror for when I came back to Ghetto on that 4th episode? Could I get a full-length mirror backstage? And can that very expensive Beverly Hills Farrier with the 3 guards that came with the coat, can they let me just put the coat on before I go out there? Because I wanted to see her. I wanted to believe, Mrs. Gordon at that moment. And when I put that on and we put that scarf around my head, remember, I'm that poor little girl from Harlem. I don't know from these fur. I don't even know to this day what fur I was wearing. I just know it was expensive. And it was from one of those furriers in Beverly Hills who sent guards to guard the coat. Somebody could shoot me, but don't let nothing happen to that coat. So I having an opportunity to try to become that You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a moment I forgot to mention when we were talking about, and when Terry and Wendy came on, it made me think about Steve
Mm-hmm.
Harvey. I met my husband of 26 years. I met him on the Steve Harvey show. He was the first time Steve did his first show called Me and the Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Irvin was the technical director, and I was Steve Harvey's acting coach.
Mm-hmm.
And we met on the, my husband says we met on the stage. I don't remember that. I say we met in the booth.
Little liar.
You'll never know, will you? Wait till we get to heaven and find out for real. Yeah, but it was, and then I just got to say how the funniest thing in my life was my wedding day, because I didn't have a father. Kimmy, you paid for my wedding. Wait. You
Okay.
paid for my wedding, and we had this beautiful wedding at Harvest Christian Center, our little storefront church. But Steve, Mark Curry, TC, John from Living Single, they were all out in the alley doing stand-up. That was the funniest wedding moment ever. So when everybody else gets to go home and look at their wedding video,
Yeah.
we go home and find out that they were out there doing stand-up. Okay, I had to throw that in. Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark Curry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That Mark set me in motion to be the Hollywood acting coach. That was his job, going to work with him as a comedian that was getting a series.
all right, hold on. Let me bring everybody up to speed. So Mom is talking about when she became the coach for Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and she was Mark Curry's coach. She had moved to Atlanta, and like a day later, she was brought back by Warner Brothers executives because they needed her to coach Mark Curry. So hold on, because that's a huge jump between the fur coat and the tape recorder. That's you. My favorite. God rest in heaven, rest her soul. But when you did Spider-Man,
Oh Lord.
and oh, Holly said you coached all of them. And we're gonna come back to Hang with Mr. Cooper. Quincy, can you get me a charger, please, baby?
We're about
Thank
to
you.
lose her.
So
I'm just gonna say, my husband, technical genius, he set me up, and the charger is already plugged in. I'm just saying.
I want y'all to see my setup. This is my production setup right here. Okay.
Kim, okay, you got the charger yet?
Wait, Sebastian. No, hold on. I got it. Let me just charge my phone here. Quincy, plug it in.
You know, this
Good help is hard to
is
find.
fun.
Huh?
Yeah, but fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I was terrified. Folks, y'all have loved on her for a very long time. I am not on social media, not interested in becoming part of social media. I think it's great for you young folk. But I'm just going to say this. Last night, my eye was twitching. I was shaking. I was like, okay, I know her, so I should be okay.
I know her, so I should be okay.
But there's something about these little remarks coming up every nanosecond about what you're doing. And my prayer is always that I would be a voice that you would not wish would go away, that you would want to hear the wisdom moments, the things that God gave me over the years. I would never want to be boastful.
Yes, I am.
That's why I don't like. I appreciate that you want to hear the stories, but it's God was weaving a path for me. Alongside of me was weaving a path for you, weaving a path later for Alexis. And just as a very major aside, I need to say, I am not the mother of one daughter or two daughters, Alexis and Kim. I have four stunning daughters, Tina and Nakia, who, when we became a blended family back in 1994, those girls embraced my family embraced their family. And I am, see that greenery right back there? Nakia drove all the way from her house to just bring me that on Mother's Day. There is, you don't get that blended family where it works. And I just am praising you, Jesus, for putting it on all of our hearts to work together, to love each other. And now I have 9 amazing grandchildren from 4 stunning daughters and 4 amazingly handsome and wonderful men who I love each and every one like a real son.
Mm-hmm.
So all I can say is, if you think I'm the mother of 2, I am the mother of 4. And I am blessed to share motherhood with their mom, because and I cannot tell you the support that is for me. You know, if I'm not worrying about you, I'm worrying about Kia, I'm worrying about Tina, and all of you have. Thank you all for taking different times to have your drama, so that I can worry about you, Kim, Tina, Alexis, and Kia. They cool. Then when it's Nakia's time, when it's Tina's time, and when it's Alexis's time, you know, it's been awesome. Thank you, girls, for loving.
It's now my turn to quote a scripture. There is a scripture, and thank you, Tandria, for reminding me. Proverbs, in Proverbs 31, 28 and 29, her children will call her blessed.
Amen.
And we do that because you are. And it talks about your husband will praise you, and he does. And it's just that's just who you are.
Thank you.
So going back to Spider-Man, and thank you guys for just jumping around with us. We're blessed to have so much to remember and recall and share.
Remember it. Catch us while we can still remember.
Right. What was it like? Because I remember when you worked on Spider-Man, and I remember you were filming that primarily at what was the Mary Tyler Moore Studios, where I had done, right?
I forgot. Yes. Well, we did a lot of it on
location. Right. But okay, so you also had the studio, and it was where I was filming Baby I'm Back. What was that like doing Spider-Man, especially the episode of where they let you play guitar and sing, and the song, when Rasan said you're a wonderful songwriter, the song that you sang on there, Who Am I? That's a song that you wrote. So Mom starred on The Amazing Spider-Man, the TV series with the great Nicholas Hammond, and so many other stars were a part of that. But it was really great to be around as a kid. What was it like for you?
It was the first film show I'd ever done. So that was different. That was really different. Going to locations at 4:00 in the morning and sitting in a trailer and getting makeup done, and then they don't use you until after lunch.
Right.
That I commend Tom Cruise and Samuel L. and all of y'all who do movies, Denzel, all y'all who do movies. This girl ain't got that kind of patience. I was sitting in there twiddling my thumbs, waiting for them to get through all their scenes and stuff. And then when it became my scene, I don't know if you know, they asked me, could I handle a stunt? So I said, I think so. So they put this harness around me, because in this scene, I'm playing for in the outer yard for prisoners. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in a jail jail facility, and so a prison facility, sorry. And so they put this harness around me, and they say, okay, Chip, at a certain point in the song, we're gonna do the explosion, and we're gonna pull you off that as if you blew up. Okay, to tell you.
Wait a minute, not as if you blew up, as if the area just.
The area made me blow, push me forward.
There you go.
So it's one thing to tell you that, and you just go, oh, okay, that sounds cool, until they do it. They might as well have put the bomb back there. Girl, I had never done that kind of a stunt in my life. I'm a huge fan, beyond huge fan of NCIS Los Angeles.
Yes, you are. Yes,
and
you
that
are.
ensemble, LL, you guys are amazing. That whole team, it's like I wanted to be Kenzie. I think I still want to be Kenzie.
I think you do too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And just, but you know, they probably let me come in and audition. Not forget. You see, okay. Hetty.
So the gentleman that I told you is the curator for the Spider-Man TV series. He's on here, and he said that he loves. She
talks about you to me often. How are you? And God bless you for keeping all that beautiful memorabilia.
Yes.
That is just
awesome. He has
awesome.
the whole series, and so they put clips on, and they really do so much to celebrate that series and everything. So thank you again.
Let me give him a heads up on something that most people don't know. I was not only on Spider-Man, but so was Alexis. Because when they sold Spider-Man to do movies in Asia and we had done 3 2-hour segments. So they made a movie out of these segments. And so it was 2 or 3 movies. Well, while when we're doing the part that would make the movie be full, you know, they called me in. I was pregnant with Alexis. So see how I'm shot right now, where it's just right here? That's how they shot me behind the desk, because I was really big carrying Alexis. So Alexis.
And Alexis.
We have to do that. But Alexis, we can put you in the same page with Kimmy, but only yours will be a little more truthful. You can go around and say, I was in Spider-Man the series. Sorry.
Why you say hers be a little more truthful?
A little more truthful, because she was in the scenes with me. I'm just saying, Spider-Man, not Sesame Street.
So, all right. So then we get to hanging with Mr. Cooper, and we'll kind of power through, because I can't even believe we've been on here since 1 o'clock. It's now 3 o'clock.
Oh, so sorry. You know what?
Listen, everybody's talking about how much they're loving all this. Okay, they really are. So yes. Alexis kept talking about she was the first Blue Ivy.
Alexis.
Oh, Alexis, you were the most. That's why she's my hero. That's one of a gillion reasons why. So, you did hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper was the most fun thing in the world. Mark Curry is so funny, so supportive of what I was doing, and he literally gave me a presence on that set of honor, and he respected my suggestions, and we worked really hard to make that what it was. But treat after treat was having Holly, because Holly will just jump in with you.
Yes, she will.
She's a team player.
Yeah.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
She's a team player. And we just had a really good time.
Yeah.
And, you know, precious little Raven showing up on the show. And I don't think I would have had the career I had if God had not blessed me with that job. Mm-hmm. So I am grateful to all the producers who supported me every season and kept paying me more money. Yeah. Thank you, bless you.
Yeah.
Because we were able to once again survive on the path God put us on. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
There's nothing but gratitude in my heart for this industry. People say things about, oh, you watch too much, not to me per se, but people around the world. You'll say, don't watch a whole lot of TV. Let me tell you something. TV saved my life. When I was a kid in Virginia, you know, 4 and 5 years old when TV first came out majorly, and we would watch things like Donna Reed, Father Knows Best, and things that gave us character and principles to live by if we weren't in church, you know. And so we had ways to escape our environment through TV, like
Yes.
people look at movies with the same thing. So I appreciate what TV has been. And yeah, there's a lot of bad TV and a lot of bad movies, but if you find the good stuff
Yeah.
that can help inspire you and encourage you,
Yeah.
and TV became a way of earning a living
Yeah.
for me, you know. So I have nothing bad to say about the TV.
Right. So when you talk about Virginia, you know, we mentioned grandma and how she was a dancer and everything, but Daddy Lewis and him being a chef, your uncle who was like your dad, and Aunt Alice who was like a second mom to you, and when you would stay in Virginia for long stretches of time while grandma, your mom, was in New York. It really gave you kind of like that dual worlds, you know, being in growing up in Virginia and then also in New York. Did that help shape a lot of who you became, either in real time or much later?
In real time and much later, I think. My uncle, I called him Pop, and he called me Ching Chow, and it was because my eyes were a little slanty when I was younger, and he said, "Come here, Ching," you know, and I was like, I would never say that today because I don't have any idols. I just have Christ. But back then, he was my idol. I just looked up to him. I was kind of a little tomboy in early years, climbing the trees and getting tadpoles out of the water and putting them in a jar or catching fireflies. I think that's the tough part of me. It toughened me up because I had to deal with the fact that I didn't have my mom and I never really knew my dad. Right. So those are the things that did shape me in real time. Yeah. And then those were things that I could call on years later because you also went through a life of, which would be typically my segue for my sister to talk to you, but you went through a life of being raised by 2 women, me and my sister, because, and I want to explain to you, the only reason I did not stay on that set with you for Facts of Life was because being an actor, I never wanted them to think I was sitting there in the wings trying to get them to see me or to call me down and say, "Oh, Chip, why don't you play that role?" That always, I had a lot of integrity and I just didn't want to do that. Plus, it was hard to sit there while stuff would be happening and I'd be this close to being on a show and couldn't get on it. Do you know what I'm saying? So in those early years before they finally asked me to play your mom, but I would have felt terrible if they asked me to play your mom because they'd been seeing me sitting there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do.
That would have been hard. I do. So that was why enter Patricia Moore, my sister. Yeah. And Patricia Moore came and sacrificed everything. Everything. She left a great job in New York, got on a plane, came out here, went on the set and became your driver. She became your mama off on set. She became Aunt Pat to all the girls who I love those girls from Facts. They embraced her and me so much with love. Girls, Mindy, you know, but for the first season, you know, then I get Julie Piekarski, who's my sweetheart, Lisa, you guys made television with Kimmy being on it. You made a place for her to have sisters and friends because you didn't get to have a lot of that. Thank God for Todd. Oh my God, Todd Bridges being next door and Gary Coleman on this side, and you know, somebody here and somebody there, but they were all child stars, so that's different too. So, but you had a lot of support systems and big sisters. Yeah. And so I love you girls. And for you girls to want to have worked with me on projects when you were on hiatus, that just blows my mind. It blows my mind. Hey, Lisa, remember when we did In Command of the Children? I know we did Christmas in Never Neverland, and we had in Inner City Cultural Center, and Michael Jackson came to see it. We had to hold the curtain,
Yes.
bring him up the back.
Yes.
It was when he was his heyday.
Yes.
And he got to see the play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
You talk about being on the set and then not being on the set, and there's 2 points I have to bring up before we, kind of leave. But one is, and Malcolm and I talked about this yesterday, you never stopped parenting me. You weren't trying to be my manager. You weren't trying to be my coach. You weren't, and here's the thing, especially you moms of daughters, you, at least to my knowledge, I never felt like I was your competitor.
Thank you.
I always felt like I was your daughter. I never felt like you were, like I was competing with you and that you were competing with them. And we were both actresses, and you're only 18 years older than me. So it's not something where
it was a mommy dearest thing, thank God.
Yeah, not at all. And so that was something that in hindsight, as you grow older and you realize, oh, there's women that they act like their daughter is their competition. And I always say, even though I'm not blessed to have daughters, I'm blessed to have sons. But I always tell women who have daughters, she's not your competition. She's your opportunity. She's your opportunity to pour into, not compete with. And that's one thing that I will always remember, throughout those early years. But also the fact that you had to audition for Facts of Life to play my mother. They didn't think that she was old enough to play my mother, that she looked old enough.
Right.
And she actually had to audition. Now she's an accomplished actress, a Broadway star, been on plenty of TV shows, including the TV shows for the same production company. And mom had to put baby powder in the temples of her hair, in her hairline, to show that she could be my mother, old enough to play my mother on Facts of Life. And
well, I actually have to say, in that world of television, remember there's images, and in that world of television, people had to be taller than the person playing their child, and they had to look more mature than the person playing their child. Plus, I was supposed to be a seasoned lawyer.
Right.
So in all fairness to them, and I think they wanted to convince themselves that they did not hire me because I was your mom and they didn't want to hurt my feelings. So I honor it. It was, I was irritated that I had to do that. I did 2 callbacks. I auditioned, I went, got a callback, and then I had to go to another callback.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. And it was okay, because when I won it fair. How you say I want it fair and square, and that's okay.
Well, amen. And then fast forward to Living Single.
Oh my gosh.
And you playing my mom. Now that one you did not have to audition for, correct?
No. There's a reason for that.
Go.
Still with an incredible sister like Yvette. Yvette Lee created Living Single. And we started our careers, our Mayday of our careers, on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Was one of the writers. And we formed a bond as African-American women working on a Black show, but it was handled relatively with a white staff. White writers. And so we ended up becoming very close. How we became close is between her and me. And I thank you, sis, for trusting me to talk to me about things. But I will tell you this, when she got ready to write Living Single, she wanted me to hear what she was doing and shared it with me, and wanted to include you in that ensemble. And I will always remember that. I didn't even know. Years later, she and I and Kyle were going to be in the same church, at Shepherd Church in Porter Ranch. She didn't even know that. But that was a beautiful season of seeing a different era of Black actors. And it was awesome to see that new layer happening. This was not the Good Times crew. Comedy was now different.
Yes.
And you guys setting the mark. I know I always think about the African American version, forerunner, the African American forerunner to Friends. And I know people on Friends feel like that was their thing. And I know sometimes there's controversy, but you know what? We all imitate something that happened in the past. There is nothing really, really new under the sun. Someone already did it. So it's okay. You did it, and you did it with an incredible ensemble, and Friends did it with an incredible ensemble. And so there is no need to compare. It's just like, dang, we were all awesome. Amen. Amen. On another note, when I was doing the Passion Play at Shepherd Church, which means a lot to me, because if you're chronicling what I do, my most happiest moments have been writing and directing the Passion Play for the last 12 years at Shepherd Church. And it's one of the only ones still standing, because a lot of Passion Plays have ended because of financial problems or whatever. But in California, it's one of the last ones.
Yeah, it is.
We have a 3,500 seat sanctuary, and we transform the stage that Pastor is on. Pastor Dudley kindly moves out the way and lets us transform the stage into Galilee. And I just want to say, of all the things I'm listing, this is one of the happiest, most joyful, most fulfilling, most spiritually fulfilling, and mentally, creatively fulfilling opportunities I've ever been given in my life. It is my tithing back time to my church, as well as in finances, but to be able to find a spot that Pastor Dudley saw me in 3 years before I ever did it. He saw me doing that. And when I met him doing the Bible Experience, which Yvette's husband was the producer of, it let me know I wanted to be in a church like that, with a pastor who was colorblind. He saw God's people and believed if we all are looking to Christ, whatever color you are, then we are sisters and brothers to one Father. And that's been his mantra, and he has done that in that church now with over 20,000 members or something like that.
Your brother-in-law, Uncle Charles, says, and you do a wonderful job, sis.
Thank you, Charlie. I love you.
And a couple more shout outs. Frank Lawson.
Happy belated Mother's Day to everybody. I'm sorry, Kimmy. Happy belated Mother's Day to all of you ladies who I didn't get to say anything to, but thank you for mothering my daughter as well. I appreciate you and respect you and love you. Pamela Moultrie, if you're anywhere on this, I just want to tell you, you were my best friend growing up. You, Jacqueline, and what's Patty's sister's name? Patty and Patty Rich, right?
Wow.
That was just something I had to say.
Well, Jeremy Pelt. Yeah.
Hey, boy, is he on?
Yes, he is. He's an amazing and accomplished jazz trumpeter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So.
Hey, my gosh.
Yes, Tim Pelt's son, and so he sends his love to you. And Frank Lawson, thank you for being on here. Shout out to you. So now, when it's all said and done, and I know we didn't get to touch on everything. Oh, and Jeremy says he loves you. But just really quickly, because I know everybody wants to know about this with living single. What's the backstory, if you can share some of it, with the character that you played, especially in terms of the wardrobe for her?
Like I said, when you have a friend as exec producer, creator, who gives you the world, she says, take her where you want to take her, have fun. But remember, I'm not supposed to say this, so I won't say it all. She fashioned that character after somebody.
Yes, she did.
And she told me who that somebody was. And see, Yvette, I haven't told it yet.
Yes.
But she fashioned my character after someone. So she talked to me about what that person used to do and da 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 da. And so from that, I was able to create my own version of what she was trying to write in that character. And she gave me so much room and so much leeway to have fun with Regine's mom. The clothing was something she worked on with the wardrobe designers at the show. And so and us, as it would happen, once you put on the costume and you look in the mirror, you don't have a whole lot of choices which way you're gonna go. You're gonna go, you know, when you're wearing a card on your earrings and having your hat, or you know, and because the cast was always very thoughtful and loving and generous when I would come, they'd give me room to be crazy as heck. It was so much fun.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you played it, and you know what
Go ahead. I was gonna say, working with Queen's mom.
Yes, please. Somebody just asked about that.
Oh, okay. Well, working with her was delight. We just had a delightful time, and it was hard to lose her, but she raised a daughter of magnificence. So, Queen, shout out to you.
Indeed, indeed, absolutely, absolutely.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Yeah, because you can't really say no when all these people are watching. But listen, I want to say something. It has to do with both of us and Tyler Perry. You know, when we talk about, you were talking a little while ago about we don't compete with each other.
Yes.
And how nice that is not to have that in our Q&A, our DNA.
Yeah.
I love that Mr. Perry has never done that. He never calls you and doesn't call me.
That's right.
He never calls me and doesn't call you. And there's something extremely wonderful about a producer who thinks, I'm going to split this with both of them.
Yes.
And gives us both an opportunity to, number one, make money, but gives us both an opportunity to hone our skills by working on his shows.
Yes.
But then he has a crew, and I'm shouting out to our crew, Kim.
Yes.
For Young Dylan. Young Dylan, by the way, is on Nickelodeon. Please watch. Kim and I and Tyler have directed the whole series.
The entire series.
Yes, we're excited about it. And thank God, look how God is. He got us in and out, well, me, in and out of Atlanta 6 or 7 times before the whole coronavirus hit. That's God. Come on, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. And I'm healthy and you are. But the crew at Tyler Perry Studios is unlike anything you have ever seen.
Real talk. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen it anywhere but there, except one place. We'll say this. What Tommy Lynch had in Vancouver when we did Little Run, but on a scale of staying 3 years and it never changes.
Yeah.
When we did The Pain and Meet the Browns, those folk went beyond the call of duty to be loving, supportive, effective in how our day was going to happen and go down. I love that crew. I love that studio. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
But back in years later. And also, Tyler, I said this once on an interview, but I'm going to say it again. You have never made me feel old or too old, even in retirement. You took me out of retirement to come and direct a kid show. You have made me feel so special, so often. And the last day I was there, and we hugged outside before we knew we shouldn't touch each other. But when we hugged outside the studio, and you thanked me for being there, me and Kim for coming and helping you. Thank you for trusting us, first of all.
That's right.
With your babies. These are new shows, and you trusted us.
Yeah.
And the thing is, folks, he doesn't hang around.
No, he doesn't micromanage us. He doesn't micromanage
micromanage
me and Mom.
That's it, Pepperdine. He does not micromanage us. He says, all right, have fun. That's his word. Have fun. And he walks out of the studio. And you're like,
Yeah.
And there you are.
So
but
what Mom?
In the hands of Deuce.
Shout out to
Come
Deuce. Shout out to Deuce.
Carol, Ian.
Yes.
Come on, Will,
Yes.
Ollie,
Michelle Sneed, Will, everybody. Yes. Yes.
Michelle.
So what Mom is talking about, let me bring them up to speed. So what Mom is talking about is Mom and I have the great honor of directing at Tyler Perry Studios for his shows, Young Dylan, Meet the Browns, and House of Pain. And Tyler has such regard and respect and love for my mother. Very similar to Steve Harvey in that way. But then it just goes up to a whole different level because, like Mom said, Tyler trusts us with his babies, meaning his creations, these shows. And y'all know, he don't do that. He doesn't have to. And yet he makes sure that we have everything that we need, and he totally supports our vision for his vision.
Yes.
And Mom and I made history actually by being the first, if I'm not mistaken, definitely the first Black mother and daughter directing team for a studio when we did House of Pain and Meet the Browns. And then again, recently with Young Dylan. And so again, how this all started though, she's gracious in saying, Tyler will not call one and not the other. And that's very, 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 very true. When it first started though, he didn't know that I directed. And so when he first reached out back in 2008, 2009, he had called Mom to direct. And Mom said, I don't know that this is for me. You should call Kim. Once again, family, I wasn't her competitor. I was an opportunity that she poured into by sharing her opportunity. And she talked about it earlier when she said that they used to do that with Al Fan Theatrical Ensemble in New York. If I'm not right for something, I'm not going to just be tight-lipped about it. I'm going to say, oh, girl, you should go in for this. You should go out for that. And that's what she did decades later with her kid, being able
But
to.
you also became the Caleb of the Bible, where they sent them to spy out the land, and they came back and said it's a land of milk and honey.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you did for me. She came back and called me and said, Mom, you need to come and
That's
work
right.
next season and do these.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started doing them.
Yeah.
Because you made it cool by telling me how amazing everybody was to you and how he just lets you have your vision and trust the vision. Yeah. But his crew, his crew just ushers us through every day.
We're going to wrap up because
I said, I'm tired of talking to you now.
I know,
I want to see you.
I know.
I want to see you.
I know.
Okay.
Can Aunt Pat slide over? Can Aunt Pat slide in here? So guys, we're gonna wrap up just in a few minutes, but we cannot do this and celebrate my birthday, the relationship that Mom and I have, the career that both of us have. None of it is possible. There she is.
Hey, birthday.
Hi, Aunt Pat. There she is.
Hi.
You guys, right here is where all the magic has happened and always has been. See how they're on the bottom? See how they're on the bottom, because they're the foundation. They're the foundation for this.
Word.
Okay, be quick before the foundation slips.
So Aunt Pat is 11 months older than Mom. Yeah.
That's all.
Aunt Pat is, yes. So okay, hold on. My production is slipping. Hold on one second. Hold on. Oh Lord. Oh, I can't. Quincy, come in. The extension cord. Okay. No, the extension cord. Oh, my pillow fell.
Oh Lord.
Clumsy. Hold on. Because I gotta sit on pillows.
I saw Mark Kennelly on here.
Okay.
Hey, Mark.
All right. Okay. So, I'm Pat.
Wait a minute. I saw a comment that somebody said Aunt Pat can cook too, and I don't know who that was, but yes, I can cook too.
Not as good as my husband can cook, or Chris can cook,
right?
Or William can cook.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Who's talking to you?
Somebody hollering.
Do they know what you know?
I don't know.
Who?
Somebody was hollering.
Oh, well, get the camera over there. You know how you get stuff on camera.
Where are the kids?
Right there. There's one. Say hi to Aunt Pat and my mom.
Hey, Q. Hey,
Hi,
Q.
Quincy.
Okay, wait a minute. Is Daddy down there? Okay, wait. Just wait for me. Okay, just wait. So Aunt Pat.
Yes.
First of all, thank you for all that you have done, and more importantly, for all that you've sacrificed for me. Okay,
Everything.
Thank you.
family is everything.
Tell about the pajamas.
So hold on, baby. Wait a minute. Go back inside for a bit, okay? I don't know what's happening over there with them on the jet ski, so just come on back inside for just a minute.
Yep.
Pardon me? A patootie.
What's that mean?
No, not. Okay.
Oh, you thought jet ski was
We rented a pontoon for my birthday, and we went out earlier, and it was just beautiful. And so I think he was saying pontoon where Chris is. He didn't see the jet ski, so he was saying it's not a jet ski, it's a pontootie. But no, we just gonna keep moving. I'm Pat. So when you, first of all, just what is your earliest memory of me?
My earliest memory of you would be on Mother's Day when your mom wouldn't go to the hospital when she went into labor because she was waiting for our mother to make her some fried chicken and some sweet potato yams. So it was late on by the time we were able to get her to the hospital. And then you were born.
Timing is everything. That's all I have to say.
But you were the firstborn.
She was right there.
You were the firstborn. And it was always like when your mom was on the road with Hello Dolly and stuff, it was me and Uncle Luther and Grandma that made sure you were okay.
That's right.
Those times of traveling and stuff.
Yes.
So it's like, I guess I've always been like your ride or die.
Yes, that's absolutely true. You have always been ride or die. So when both Mom and I started working, and Aunt Pat graciously, like Mom already told you guys, she moved out to LA, her Uncle Lou, and she became my guardian. And so Aunt Pat was on the set with me every time. And then when I was on, when I would do personal appearances and things, and Aunt Pat would travel with me. So I was always my guardian. Something that I learned very early in life is Mom said, don't ever let them overlook my sister. And I've never, ever forgotten that, because when you are around somebody who's either a celebrity or famous or whatever, and you see that person, and it's just real easy to get caught up in just that person, and never mind, especially when they're a kid, never mind that, well, how did this famous kid get here? Somebody had to drive them. Somebody had to fly with them, and all of that. And so it always became, Kim, would you like something? No, I'm fine, thank you. But Aunt Pat, would you like anything? Just as natural as breathing, because my mother told me, don't ever let them not see my sister. Don't ever let them look past my sister to you. And that has always stuck with me. Even then, when I became grown, and then I have husband, then I have children, same deal. Don't ever look past me, or look past my husband to see me, or just not see in order to only be, that's never an option. That's never an option. My team, I just saw Reggie, one of my glam squad members, and same thing, don't ever look past and only see the famous person and not realize, I'm always saying it takes a village to raise Kim Fields, but it takes a village to raise any celebrity. Any celebrity got a team, a squad, all of that. And my mother taught me that.
Child.
Say again?
This pandemic is letting people know it takes a village to raise any child.
Yes.
Because now people are having to call on Aunt Pat and Uncle so-and-so and cousin so-and-so to watch their child, because they have to be on the front lines in this pandemic and go to work. Can't not. I know you've done a lot about talking about that, but I haven't had a chance to say that.
I do not want to cry and run my makeup. That's all I'm saying. I have a Zoom meeting.
all of those people who go to work in the morning so that I can get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
All the people who are in hospitals every day, just by the grace of God, working to take care of someone who is infected, there are no words. There are no words that you can say that even touch. All you can do is get on your knees and say, God, you bless them.
Yes.
You come,
Yeah.
you watch out for them, you protect them.
Yes.
And that's what he has done to me with my sister, who, having her here with me, she's been with me since before we asked her to come stay out here at the house with us. So that's why I can touch her and we don't have on masks. But when she goes to the grocery store, she's masked down.
Listen.
And loves my husband. And I haven't been outside since I left Tyler Perry for the last episode of Young Dylan in March 11th of this month. I haven't been out except one time to do a drive-by birthday party for little Dallas from the Passion Play.
Well, you've been outside, like in your backyard and stuff like that. Yes.
My backyard is where I walk around to make me feel like I did some exercises, because all I'm doing is eating. Lord have mercy.
Somebody said healthcare worker here. Thank you. No, thank you very, very much. So again, guys, it's my birthday today, and I just wanted to start the celebration with my mom, and then now with my mom and my Aunt Pat. Aunt Pat, so fast forward the 9 years of Facts of Life, and then once I became a grown up, one thing I always love is that then Pat transitioned from being my guardian to being my stand-in.
Yep.
Tell the people what about that, please.
Well, children have to be schooled at least 3 hours with a tutor on set at the studio. So while she was being tutored, I was doing all of her blocking and scenes with the director and the rest of the cast until she finished school. And then I would sit and give her all her blocking and notes so that she could do run through with the cast. It got me to I was able to be in the union, the AFTRA and SAG union. And then when she became 18 and she didn't need a stand-in, she was still in Pepperdine. So I was still standing in for her, even though she was of age. Because she was worked out where she could go to Pepperdine and take classes in the morning and then come to the studio in the afternoon.
Yep.
After Facts of Life, Tony Dancer, who was next door, had asked me to come and be Alyssa Milano's stand-in.
Yep.
And so I was her stand-in for 1 or 2 seasons, and I also became her guardian. Would have to take her home. Her mom would drop her off, and I would take her home.
Stop running.
I was all the girls. I was Aunt Pat to all the girls, and even Charlotte.
Yes.
I was
Charlotte.
And everybody at NBC, they would call me and say, "We know you're Aunt Pat, but we know you're not a Fields. What's your last name?"
Bye, Terry. Thank you, baby. Thank you. And to this day,
I'm still Aunt Pat to everybody.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Hey sis. When we did the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
You and Nancy.
Yes, Nancy and I did that, and I remember it was huge because that's just such a big, that's one of those big ticket items, for a celeb. And so Aunt Pat and I flew to New York, and they put us up in the whole nine. And I think I almost overslept or something, and we woke up like, oh my God, we gotta go, we gotta go. And when you said how special that was for you, because being, a New Yorker and growing up and remembering the Macy's Day Parade and Macy's, and you and Mom used to work at Gimbel's in the gift wrap department.
I worked at Macy's.
Oh, you worked at Macy's.
She worked at Gimbel's. I worked at Macy's on holiday time doing. That's why every time I go to New York, I have to go to Macy's. It's very nostalgic.
So we're the original Miracle on 34th Street. But I want to be clear. I worked at Gimbel's for about 20 minutes because I knew after 20 minutes trying to sell scarves, that was not for me. God had let me know in that 20 minutes, what are you doing here? So I went home, and they sent me 11 cents.
And it wasn't a residual. Hi, Rahelio. Thank you, baby. So Pat, once I became a grown-up, what's when you look back I guess is the best way. When you look back, what are some of your like favorite memories?
Oh,
While you were a grown up or while you were young?
I shifted gears, but
Oh,
just period. I mean,
yeah.
you know, today I'm 51. So
going back,
51.
I admire how you have not let the industry affect you. Like, and I say that because you've seen so many child stars come up and then fade away, or you hear bad things. I've never seen a bad thing, and I'm so prayerful all the time. We always praying, but we've never seen a bad thing written about you. You've always maintained, like you said, parenting. Parenting, even as you're grown, your mom and I both, we're still parenting. We'll never stop parenting. But you have always made us proud, at least I know you made me proud, that you don't hear bad words said about you, only kind things, and how you've always stayed grounded. You never forgot where you come from, what you've been through, and like, hello, this is me. So that's not you, and that's always made me happy to see that. And when people talk about you and about how, you know, not only that, how you sustain yourself and how you reinvent yourself, like Dancing with the Stars, where we were both.
Yeah.
I didn't know she could dance.
I didn't either.
And that's you reinventing yourself and staying relevant. And it's just, I'm always been proud of you and your sister, Alexis. I've been proud of you too, Lex.
He who hath a friend must show himself friendly. I am enamored with how you have kept friends over the years. You still know people who were wardrobe for you on Baby I'm Back. You reach out to them and you keep friends. Developing and maintaining friendships, that's one of your things. It's not my thing, but it's your thing. And I'm always proud of you because you do that. You stay part of the world's relationship with you. You don't break off the relationship. A lot of people go from show to show and they don't have anything else to do with the other people. That has never been who you are. And that's one of my favorite things about you.
Yeah, and I love the bond that you have with the Facts of Life girls, with the Living Single crew, that y'all are all, like you said, family, and they've been part of the countdown, and it has been great watching all of them all week. And, you know, and you can hear the genuine love they have for you.
Their kids babysit your kids. Hysterical.
Yeah.
You know, lovely. It's quite lovely.
Yeah.
You look 12. I mean, God, you're a beautiful girl. And I've been wanting to tell you that about the whole time we've been on here. You're stunning. You're beautiful. And, you know, Pat, just to be real, yeah, she may have somebody that doesn't like her, or we all have that. We have people who don't agree with. There's probably people who don't agree with us taking this much time to be talking together. But you know what?
They can kick rocks.
But you know, thank God. I always loved that line, and I think it was in I can't remember. One of the presidents, one of our presidents says, when your family, when your children want to come home and visit you, you know you did something right, or something to that effect. And I can't get rid of y'all, so I'm feeling really good. And children love coming and staying over and living here half the time when you're working. So it's a beautiful continuation of what God had put on my heart in that snowstorm. It was this woman's house that I went to in that snowstorm that literally changed my life. And I found I had my encounter with Christ that night, in the middle of the night.
But I'm also proud of you and your sister, and Nikki and Tina too, how you guys have been raising your children. You have the most respectful children. You go out here and you hear some of these kids talking to their parents, and it's like, oh my goodness, if I was that age, I wouldn't have teeth in my mouth anymore.
Right.
Guys, Sebastian and Quincy, Caden and Casey and all of them, they all are so respectful, and it's yes ma'am, and it's very respectful. They don't never say a negative word. And so I'm so proud of how you guys are all raising your children to be respectful.
Right.
And loving, they love, and I love the way they all love each other.
Yeah.
Love the bonds they all have with each other. So it's really special.
Yeah.
So Caden said the other day, well, a few weeks ago, he knew that Quincy was here visiting while you were here, And he said, is Quincy going to come and pick me up from school like he did the last time he visited? That was so cool, Mom. I mean, that was just up out of his heart. He didn't get cued to say any of it. There's real love. You know, we're going to celebrate Christian and Grant, our two identical twins in the family. Nikia's second two kids. Those twins are celebrating their birthday on the 15th. So we're excited. So a shout out to you guys. Happy birthday in advance.
Happy birthday.
Again, two respectful young men, you're going to turn 10. Sebastian started it off. Then here comes Casey. Then here comes Abby and Guy. Then here comes Grant and Christian. Then here comes.
She's talking about her. Wait. She's talking about her grandchildren. These are not my children.
No, right. Then here comes Quincy. Then here comes Quincy and Caden, and then Parker Rose.
Yes.
So that's 9 grandchildren, and we are so blessed that we ain't mad at none of them. They are such interesting, fun-loving, happy kids because of their mom and dad. So shout out to you, mom and dads, Tina, Nikia, Alexis, and Kimmy, our babies.
Indeed. Absolutely. One thing that I have gotten from the two of you is just I think my sense of tenacity. You know, you guys just you just do what you do, and you know, on Pat, you're semi-retired. You still you know, after when I became like for real grown, and you ended up transitioning into being an event planner and an award-winning and celebrated event planner, and from Mattel and just all that you do. And even now, you still, you know, work in that lane, and you're so celebrated. You're so celebrated with all of that. And so, yes, come here. And so that's one of the things. I mean, I get so much from you guys. But that's something else that I do. Hold on, don't tell on them just yet. I'll get them in a minute, okay?
Motherhood.
Well, you're not. You're not. You're not. Okay. Well, I understand that. So we'll figure that out in a second, okay, buddy? Yes, you can. Tell them I said you can.
There you go.
So, yes. Oh, I got some boxes. Okay, amen. Pardon me?
And we're going to tell you how much we love you on your birthday and every day. Proud of you. Love your folk who have been loving on you on this social media. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate all the times you say, where's Mom? Where's Mama Chip?
Yes.
Or where's Aunt? Thank you so much for loving on all of us. And on that note, I just want to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I'm just going to do the
What's the name of the group that y'all had? What's the name of that group? They used to have a group in New York. They used to have a group in New York. Come on. What was the what? Wait a minute. Wait. What was the name of it again?
The Ebenons.
The Ebenons. Yes, Lord, yes. Y'all have a picture, right?
No, 2.
And Mom, you sang with the Ronettes too, right?
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kimmy. Happy birthday to you. And we out. Y'all have social media me out.
Enjoy your birthday, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Open your boxes. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, how do we get off social media?
I'm Pat knows. I'm just gonna release you. Oh boy. The Ebenons who approved this name. I know, Alexis. I know. All right. So that's how you kick off your birthday when you're in a lit lockdown. Thank you for being a part of this. Yes, my mother just said, and we out. This was so, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just overjoyed. I'm overwhelmed. My family has sacrificed a good part of the day not being able to be. Okay, Chris said, don't worry about it. That was awesome. I just, oh, wow, wow, wow. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Yvette Nicole Brown. Thank you, Chef Shell. I know somebody said, how do we get off social media? Like my mother just said. Um, Everybody's now talking about the biopic being epic. We're going to do our best to save this live. This is the longest. My God, we started this at 1 o'clock Eastern, and it's almost 4 o'clock now. And the numbers, here's the thing, the numbers have stayed consistent, and then they kept growing and then just stayed consistent. Thank you, Alexis. I love you. Thank you for being my hero. You're amazing. And I love you. 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 Everybody that was on the countdown, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. So listen, after all this, it's not over. This was just the kickoff. This was just the kickoff. We are it's supposed to be at 5:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 5:12 on 5:12 today, my birthday. We're going to have a lot of my friends on social media and celebrities wanted to say thank you, Yvette Nicole. But a lot of people wanted to just kind of say happy birthday and kind of pass through and just kind of have a digital shindig that wasn't necessarily Zoom. And I wanted to also have a chance to, touch base with some of you as well. So we're going to take a break. We're going to jump back on right around 5:12, on 5:12, and be able to enjoy God's blessings for me and my life and my breath. So it is my birthday. It's my birthday. It is my birthday. But I hope you enjoyed that. I think you did. I think you did. And this was just I'm overjoyed. I'm overjoyed, and I'm so glad that was Mom's debut on IG and any social media. Yes, 5:12 Eastern. Today's word. What is today's word? How many do we have again? Can somebody tell me how many words we have, please? But I'm just, wow. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. But I'm just so full. So yes, 5:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. We'll jump back on and get some birthday shout outs. Chef Shell, you said you learned so much. Thank you. Somebody said 10, somebody said 11. Okay. Well, let's see. So it is 11 words. Are we sure? Are we sure that it's, no, see, y'all keep going back and forth between 10 words or 11 words. I don't know how many we actually have. And I can't look at my notes. But let's see. You guys got any suggestions for what you would like the word to be? We did love. Thank you, Loretta Swit, for my virtual birthday hugs. You're tremendous. You are so tremendous. I've still seen 10 and 11, so I need somebody to. Allison, you're official. Allison has been keeping track between Allison and Elijah. You guys have been at least, and I know there's more of you, but I know that they have the actual numbers. Yvette Nicole said the word should be legacy. I do love legacy. I do love legacy, and I don't think that is a word that we have had on the countdown. So Yvette Nicole, leave it to you to pick my favorite thing for today. And of course, legacy makes sense since today is my birthday. Let's go with that. We're gonna go with legacy, okay? Somebody said, what are the gifts for having the words? Yes. So, okay. So bubble baths, coffee, music, family, candles, authenticity, Langston, Nikki, they counted as one. Dance, laughing, love, God, legacy. How many words them is? How many words them is right there? Um, so those are, yes, legacy. That's the word for today because I do love legacy. Yvette Nicole Brown is amazing for coming up with that. She knows me so well to know what I would like. Although, shoot, after today, shenanigans could certainly be the word. And I do love me some good shenanigans. But so that's 12 now. That's 12. Okay. All done. Thank you. I do see the number 12. So great job, Yvette Nicole Brown. That you did that thing. So legacy will be our final word. So those are the 12, my 12 favorite things, one for each day leading up to today, my birthday. I love you too, sister. You're phenomenal. Okay, so I'm gonna go and have some family time, and see you guys around 5:12 Eastern Standard Time for a few birthday roll throughs here for a little shindig. I'm gonna put my production to bed. That's my production setup. So pitiful. This has been amazing, guys. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. And again, mega, mega shout out and big, big thanks to my team at Signature Blends by KF, my coffee and tea line. Thank you so much for supporting me with the Birthday Vibes Countdown and then with today's mega coffee moment. This has been great. And don't forget, we do have a very special birthday bundle called Harlem Honey. It's this, ooh, it's such a good roast. Oh my gosh. It's royal and bold and rich. It has just a little splash of sweet to it. And it's amazing. So I asked the team to put that together. We partnered with, thank you for ordering the birthday bundle. Kim is finally 30. Well, amen. But we packaged the birthday coffee blend, and it's a special edition. So don't look for this all the time, and you only have a limited time to get this because it's just, you know, for my birthday. And we did a limited run of the blend, and we partnered with Harlem Candle Company for these beautiful mugs that they have. My nose is peeling. What kind of what? Excuse me. But we partnered with Harlem Candle Company for these beautiful mugs that celebrate the nightclub, the map of the nightclubs of Harlem. And it's very special. It's also great because the Savoy is on there, and that's one of the places, as well as the Cotton Club, where my grandmother danced. I think I'm going to post, I have this beautiful picture of her that Aunt Pat actually posted on Mother's Day, and I'm going to post that. So as far as the K-Cups are coming, but in the meantime, use the reusable K-Cup, okay? Use the reusable K-Cup. It's better for the environment anyway. And you can get all of this at Signature Blends by KF. We do have tea as well. Signature Blends by KF, okay? All right, guys, I will see you in a little while. Oh,